Good morning, Columbus.
Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe.
Wake up! Not this one!
Frizzle left tight, F-fly, pass 37 punch, waggle, help, baby dizzy, X-fan on the turbo.
Thank you, baby.
Football, man.
It's time to listen to a bald, fat loudmouth
Mr. T-Bone.
and a former football player.
And that ball intercepted by Tyvis Powell.
Wow, no radio station has ever done that before.
Did it work for those people?
No, it never does. But it might work for us.
Welcome to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Welcome in. Good morning to you. I'm T-Bone. He's Tyvis. Hello, Tyvis.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm back on my Sheets run today.
Oh,
You gave me
wow.
crap yesterday for going to
So
Starbucks.
you had to go get a soda?
I had to go get a soda from Sheets
You
to
know-
even it out.
you know
I
what's
felt
funny?
bad. I was leaving them behind.
So I had told my wife about this. I was like, Lauren, like T-Bone drinks soda. And people looking at me like I'm the one that's messed up because I refuse to drink soda before noon. So my wife goes, no, you're absolutely correct. You shouldn't drink soda or pop before noon.
You shouldn't.
Okay?
I agree with you.
So she says, nah, I'm ashamed to tell you when I was coming because she went to Miami.
I was going to ask you about how that went.
She said when she came home from Miami, she said she thought about me because she wanted a coffee, but Starbucks line was through the roof. So she went and got a Coke.
Yep.
And I just looked at her in disgust.
Sometimes you just need to wake up.
Nah, you don't. Now, especially not in the airport. Just you want to stay awake enough to get on the plane, and then you go to sleep again.
Yeah. Well, that's a good strategy I hadn't considered. By the way, I have a travel story later today. One of the worst travel stories I could ever imagine. And it doesn't involve like an airline crashing or like a door falling off of an airplane. It doesn't involve an airplane.
You ran out of gas.
No, it didn't run out of gas. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's called a tease in the business, Tyvis. We're gonna do that later on. You know, in the 7 o'clock hour. I got you all hooked up.
Well, speaking of
I'll
teas,
tell you all about it.
Speaking of teas, my teas just crumbled and burned yesterday.
I thought as soon as I saw that news about your guy Mitch Marner.
Oh man.
Maple Leafs have been trying to move him, like not trying to move him, but they've talked about moving him for a couple of years.
Goodness.
Jackets wanted. There were rumors that the Jackets were in on him, and then sadly, as was probably expected,
No, it wasn't.
he didn't end up. That didn't end up materializing.
They're not paying attention to 97 wasn't the fan in the morning times because if they did, they would have actually went through with this.
Yeah.
It was a whole
They should have.
streaking fest ready to go.
Yeah, we had you, me, Dylan Tyre.
Yes.
Who else? Was Baker going to join us? I can't remember
I
if
don't
Baker said he
remember
would.
if Baker said he would or wouldn't.
You know what? Who cares? It would have happened. He would have seen us running and said, "I got to join." Stripped off all
Dylan
his
said
clothes.
he would have joined in.
I actually think that the NHL does listen to this station, and that's why the trade went through because no one wanted to see that.
See, Tyvis, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, we have to make better arrangements to, like, if this happens, we will do this. We'll do things. We'll give Gary Bettman, like, a 1 hour tongue bath right here on the air. We'll tell him how great he is. He's the best commissioner ever. By the way, Jackets fans, we got to talk, and we will throughout the show, because I think we have to face some harsh realities with this Jackets team. And I want to say first and foremost that I think Elliot Friedman is a damn liar. And everybody, big splash is coming. Splashes are on the splash.
Yeah.
Jackets gonna splash.
Yeah.
You know what they did yesterday?
Nothing.
They did nothing wrong yesterday. But what they did was say, hey, do you like Provorov? Great. Do you like Fabro? Awesome.
This is they're doing
We're rolling it back.
They're rolling slow and steady.
Now,
And steady.
Here's what, so they re-signed
10-2.
Provorov.
10-2 on the wheel is where they at.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I have to pull up what the AAV is for Provorov, but I mean, it's like $8.5 million for a lot of years, because that's the cost of getting a guy like him. Like, he's good. He was a free agent. This is what they wanted to do, is to not let him hit the market. They avoided that. They re-signed him. It's smart business. But what we do have to have a realization about with the Blue Jackets is the defensemen that the Blue Jackets wanted, some of whom were available, Jackets couldn't get them. Not because they're a bad organization, not because they suck or they're stupid or anything like that, but because the Jackets just ultimately were not willing to pay the price in prospects, players, and picks that it takes to get some of these high-priced, big-name free agent defensemen that are out there. And maybe that's the right strategy because they are not like Stanley Cup winners just waiting for one last piece, right? If they were, that might be the move you make. However, the other part of that is with this Jackets team, I don't think it is good when the local media just constantly says, oh, this is so smart. It is smart. It's smart business, okay? This is a team that's 25th in goals against last year, 25th out of 32. Is that all because of Elvis? Somewhat, sure. But there were plenty of games I watched where it didn't matter who was in net. They weren't defending it as well as they could have. You got a lot of guys on this defensive blue line that like to get forward and score goals. That's why the Jackets score a lot of goals, is they have offensive-minded guys. That's not bad. That's a strategy. However, if you're not going to go out and get high-priced defensemen who can help you in that regard, toughen you up a little bit in that, final third, then you are going to run into situations where, you're just going to get outshot and outplayed, and it doesn't matter who you have back in the net. You have Patrick Waugh back there. You're just not going to win you're not going to win some of those games if you're not going to invest a little bit more. And they did. They're investing in the defense. But let me tell you right now, they are saying, Denton Matejchuk, come on down. This is your time to be a dude, because that's essentially the hope here, is that the prospects, the guys in the pipeline, are going to come up and backfill this and make it work, because I had hoped for a little bit more splash from that regard. So that's just me telling you how it is, right, Jackets fans?
I am bummed that they definitely hyped it up. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone was just get ready. Wayne Gretzky's coming out of retirement to play for this Jackets team.
That's really how it felt.
That's what it is.
That's really how.
Mark Messier, come on down. Yeah,
but you know what? We should have known when they didn't trade them picks. We should have just already knew, like, all right.
That's why I said hype. Friday night, everybody's like, these are good picks. These are great. And it's like, yeah, they are. But I was very surprised they didn't move them to get something, because at some point, this Jackets team, I think they will make the playoffs this year. I think the roster they had last year with a few tweaks, a little bit more time in Dean Evanson's system, they will make the playoffs next year. All these guys will improve. I hope will mostly improve. But you also got to remember, Zach Werenski last year had a season of his life, right? I mean, he had one of the best seasons he's ever had, and you missed the playoffs. That's one of your best players having his best years, and you missed the playoffs. I know everything that went into last year. I'm not discounting that. The fact they were even close to the playoffs, Dean Evason should have been named Coach of the Year, okay? But let's not live off of that next year and say yes, and then this again. Now this year, all that's kind of, people are aware that situation happened. Obviously, the tragedy with Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, terrible. But now this is moving forward with the Jackets. You have to start showing me that it's more than just they're frisky and can make a run at the playoffs. I mean, we've waited a long time to see more than just a frisky team that can make the playoffs. We want a team that can compete for the conference. We want a team that can be top 3 and maybe actually be the favorite in a playoff series, not the team that has to go knock off the 1 seed in stunning fashion like they did with Tampa. That's what we want as Jackets fans, right, Tyvis?
I'm right there with you. I think that last year, so as hot as this Jackets team was, when they went up against those top playoff caliber teams, ones that are that's competing for the cup, you seen the difference. You seen all right, we're good, but we ain't on that level yet.
No.
And I thought after having this amazing season, don't get me wrong, I understand you got to take things step by steps. Your focus should be make the playoffs, make the postseason, because obviously we didn't do that last year. So maybe this season it's all about let's just make the postseason. That's showing progress in the organization. But I also think that as hot as the team is now, and as all of the camaraderie around that team and all the hype, you have to do something to keep feeding that. Who's to say year 2 in Dean Evanson's system, and you go out there and you get one of these big-time players to come in and pair with Zach Werenski and all these other guys, who's to say that that's not the one thing that's missing that can actually take you? So when you go up against the Florida Panthers or the Lightning and all that, you could be like, all right, we can win some games, they win some games, but it's close. Every game is close. That to me feeds the mindset of the team. oh my goodness, we here. Like, we got them. If we see
Right.
them in the postseason, we can beat them.
Oh,
Like, that's the mindset that I wanted them to adopt this offseason with some of the moves that they made, and we're still waiting for that. I'm not going to say it's all the way there.
no. Look, I mean, the reality is, like, you have Damon Severson's contract is just untradeable. I think. I don't know. If they trade him, he's got, what, 6 years, 5 years left, something on this terrible deal, and he's almost unplayable for the Jackets on that blue line, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a guy at the time they made that deal. It's like, well, that's what you got to pay to get a guy like him, right? So I understand there is a hesitancy to go out and pay for someone who hasn't played here versus someone like Provorov, who has now shown what he can do here. You pay him the money. And if you look at, like, the rate of inflation, the last time he signed a deal, I think he signed a deal for like 6 years and $6-something million a year. That's basically what an 8-year, $8.5 million deal is anyway now in the NHL. Plus, the salary cap's going up. So you're going, like, later on in this deal, it won't be terrible, but that means, you know, Ivan Provorov has to be the dude now. Like, he has to be right there with Zach Werenski. And I feel like if you could keep that together, which they weren't, I know, but if they could have kept those two guys and signed a top dude, like, that's what it feels like you're going up against when you play Florida, right? When you play some of these better teams, when you play some of these perennial, always winning teams, that's what they seem to have.
Well, you know.
And I know the Jackets just can't take that risk yet. I get it. But let's not paper over the fact that this was a team that let in a lot of goals. I was going to say a terrible defense. That's not accurate. They were a decent defense. They had terrible goaltending last year. But it wasn't just the goaltending. Like, we have to look at the whole picture. By the way, what is the fix on the goaltending? Are we just running that back too?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Free agency's open. We'll find out. But looking at some of the goalies that are out there, it's not like there's a savior just waiting there for the Jackets to drop a big paycheck on his head. Like, you're going to have to take a chance on a guy who had a mediocre season last year. Put him behind this defense, maybe he's better. I don't know. But, yeah, so that's where we are with the Jackets right now. We'll continue to talk about that. Also, big trade in the NFL yesterday. We'll talk about it next. T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, for folks over in Powell, we do have some good news for you right now. A road is now reopened. This is 257 northbound right at Stratford Avenue. Earlier this morning, it was closed off because of some flooding in that area right by the Scioto River. Again, that has since been reopened. Things are looking pretty good this morning. Not a lot of people on the roads either, so pretty good for your Tuesday commute. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know what it's like to be stuck in that cycle of pain where you're trying to get better. You keep going to the doctor, steroid shots, surgeries. Do not go down that road anymore. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics. They will help treat you without going under the knife and without the meds. QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine to help your body heal itself. And I should know, I've been a client there and they helped me with my knee get back to the running in the summer and going whitewater rafting and all of the things that you enjoy. And this is the critical part about my friends with QC. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's peace of mind. It's not just a number. They're trying to help you. They're the second opinion that you're looking for to keep you from getting under the knife. To find out if you're a good candidate, go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. The consultation is free, or call 380-2845-44. That's 380-2845-44. They have offices all over Central Ohio. So go check them out.
Used car prices are sky high. Families paying top dollar today. Don't waste time selling it yourself. Any car, any truck, any year, we want it now. No games, no waiting, just cash. Get to Valley before the market drops.
ValleySuperstore.com. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop this morning, some which could be on the stronger side with heavy downpours and gusty winds. Wake up temperatures in the 70s, and then we will see skies start to clear out in the afternoon to early evening with some spotty showers and storms, highs in the mid to low 80s. For tonight, patchy fog developing overnight, and then for Wednesday, we'll have some of that fog to start and plenty of sunshine in the afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
Both of these men played sports in high school. Only one of them was good at it. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
I just want to read you from the New York Times. The Athletic, obviously, is owned by the New York Times now. NHL contract grades. Blue Jackets massively overplay Ivan Provorov in confounding 7-year deal. This is the first line of this article. Defenseman Ivan Provorov signs a 7-year deal worth $8.5 million in annual average value with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then a long period. And said, this is an albatross contract most teams would suffer to deal with. It's a back-breaking deal for almost any team. There, you know, again, I'm not going to say that it's that bad of a deal. What I am saying is sometimes I feel like the local media here is just like, well, it's almost like watching one of those Real Housewives shows, and it's like, guys, you don't even understand what they're going through right now. Like, it's so difficult. Oh, my God. Like, after they've had a meltdown and, like, destroyed a car dealership, and you're like, she's really dealing with a lot.
That's pretty good.
It does feel like that sometimes, right? It's like, guys, I don't know if you know this. Like, this franchise, you can't expect them to do anything. Yes, I can. What I'm saying is, let's not carry the water for this. Let's also not trash it. But I'm saying there's a level in between. It's a perfect deal, and it's this Athletic article. But I tend to lean a little more towards this Athletic article when I see like how much money they're paying him and what defensemen cost these days. The best thing anybody says about Provorov is he eats minutes. They don't say like, oh my God, this is a top 10 defender in the league. This is a guy you can't play against. Oh man, he shuts down their best players. No, what they say is he stays on the ice a lot, which is good. You don't do that if you suck. But let's not pretend that that's just, there you go. Run it back. We got a championship level defense here. I don't think we do right now. Maybe if you get a better goaltender, it suddenly looks a lot better, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, they said, who said they ain't got no money? Don't they have a lot of cap space?
They have a ton of cap space. They have all the cap space in the world.
The most cap space of any NHL team.
Before Friday,
Don't say that.
Before Friday, when they started making deals, they were $15 million under the floor, the salary floor, which was expected. They have young players. They have to sign those young players. They want to give deals out. They don't want to move some of these young players. They want this core to develop here. I get all of that. But this Provorov deal, let's not pretend it is what they didn't get. The guys they wanted. The guys that were out there either turned them down or just weren't available, or they weren't available for the cost they wanted. So they circled back to a guy they probably were going to move on from in Provorov and said, never mind. Here's a 7-year deal worth $8.5 million a year. Okay, that's what happened. Let's be real about that, and let's keep our eyes open is all I'm saying. Let's not just pat them on the head every single time they make a deal because they're our local team and we love them. I love the Jackets. I hope this deal works out, but let's not pretend it's not a lot of money for a guy whose best attribute is he's on the ice a lot. That's it.
Minutes.
I'm not trying to be overly negative.
I don't think that's like when somebody says, when you ask somebody about a football player and they go, well, he's a nice kid. Like that
he's a nice kid.
You don't want to hear that.
No, you don't want to hear that.
What you trying to hear when you say somebody eats minutes.
Yeah.
It's not kind of when your name come up, that's not kind of what you want to hear.
In hockey guy terms, that's a good thing. Because if you eat minutes, that means they can trust you. They can put you out there. Dean Evison puts him back out there instead of other guys because he's like, well, he's not going to screw up. Like he's solid. I'm not trying to rip this, but solid ain't $8.5 million a year. That's like, I think that's more in like Aaron Ekblad territory. I think that's more in like some of the guys that now have re-signed with other teams. That's for me. It was a little shocking to see the number. And I thought yesterday the response was, thank God they re-signed him. And I had to like, am I awake? Are we at the same ballpark? What's going on here? This feels like a little bit of, I'm in a different reality, I feel like, than a lot of the Jackets media, I guess, on this. But that's fine. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and he becomes one of the best defensemen in the NHL. He's not that, though. Let's not mistake it for what it is.
Maybe he's turning the corner. They saw something there.
Could be. That's a lot of 30-year-old defensemen typically do that. They turn a corner. That's fine. That's all right. That's usually what they do.
They said typically it takes men longer to mature.
That is true.
Than women.
That is correct.
Okay, so right now he's 30. For him is when he hit it.
Let me be clear. He's 28.
Yes.
He's not 30. So he's still got a few more years till 30.
He in his prime.
Well, what are you, 31 now?
I'm in my prime.
You're in your prime.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So like he ain't even hit his prime
Perfect.
yet.
We're good. We're good. You know what? You sold me on it. Guys, the Jackets have it so difficult. Nobody wants to play Columbus. By the way, people used to say it about Florida. Never mind. I'm going to go off on a whole nother tangent. We're never going to get to this trade story. Just know, people used to say it about, remember when Florida was the trash place? They should move away from the Florida Panthers because no one wants to play in an arena that's 40 minutes outside of Miami. Yeah. And they throw rats on the floor. Yeah. And they're dumb. And nobody likes, they have 9,000 people coming to games. Remember that? And now it's like, you got former NHLers sitting there going, you can't let they have no state taxes in Florida. That's not fair, Gary Bettman. Like, that's what it takes. When you get the formula right, suddenly everyone talks about how great you are and how everyone wants to play for you. But like the Jackets, we're working towards that. We're in the middle of it. Jimmy Eat World. It just takes some time, right? I get it. We're in the middle of it.
First of all,
it'll all be fine. It'll all work out.
You're turning red.
That's just my natural shade these days, Tyvis. I think that might be blood pressure related. I'm not sure.
Do you not trust the process?
Never. I don't trust any process. I trust results because results have happened.
That's fair.
I trust results. Fair. You can trust the process all you want. I trust the results. When I see the results, then I go, hey, they happen. That's good. All right. Speaking of results, there was a big trade that we'll see what the results are of this. Steelers and the Dolphins trading defensive backs. Jalen Ramsey, which of course was not coming back. He was not coming back to the Dolphins. He moves on to the Steelers. Steelers get him as well as Jonnu Smith, tight end, and a 2027 7th-round pick from the Dolphins for Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round choice. So
Minka's going back to Miami.
Yeah, how many games did he play for them? Was it Because he got drafted by Miami, right?
Yeah, no, I think he played there for like, what, two years?
I feel like it was a couple years, yeah.
He was in that situation where they asked him to do too much. He was playing safety, then he was playing nickel, then they wanted to play some corner, and he was just like, I didn't trust me. I was in that same boat. I know, like, that's too much. And when he got to Pittsburgh, they was like, you are a safety. You're going to play safety. So hopefully when he goes back, it's a new regime. You know, Mike McDaniels is the new head coach there, so maybe that's not even a thing where all right, you're going to play safety here. But you know what I thought about when I first seen him get traded back? No state tax.
That's the thing. And that's, folks, why the Dolphins win the Super Bowl all the time, and we should probably break them up, right? Because there's no state tax. Oh, wait.
It's not fair. It's an unfair advantage.
That's what the Florida Panthers, they have an unfair advantage, just like the Miami Dolphins. That's why the Dolphins and the Florida Panthers win everything, because people want to live in South Beach.
And then on the Pittsburgh side of it, you know, Jalen Ramsey still is a good player. He's not quite the guy that he once was, but, you know, you pairing him with Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr., I'd be curious to see where they use him. I know for him, when he was with the Rams, you know, they had him play some nickel with the Rams, and he wanted to play the nickel. So I'm interested to see, because Darius Slay is too old to go in. He playing outside, and then Joey Porter Jr., he just started to make his name outside. So I'm interested to see how they want to work these three DBs. Jonnu Smith, you pairing him up with Pat Freiermuth. I mean, I think those guys, the two tight ends, is going to be very effective. They're probably going to run some 12 personnel. But bottom line,
those two guys combined for 150 catches last. Like, if you put their stats together, that's 150 catches from your tight end.
Hey,
I'm not saying that's what'll happen in Pittsburgh, but doesn't Arthur Smith, isn't that like his guy, Jonnu Smith? I think he's had him on like two different teams he's been a part of. I want to say.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think he had him in.
Jonnu Smith is one of them tight ends that he can be a difference maker. Like, he can take over a game, but then he could also just disappear for a game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they use it. But I think the reason that Pittsburgh made this move is because of Baltimore. Baltimore got Jair Alexander, and they had to find a way to match it in some way.
It's just odd because
defense.
Minkah Fitzpatrick is younger, and I wouldn't say he's better than Jalen Ramsey, but like, I do feel like part of this, oddly enough, was motivated by the tight end thing, because Arthur Smith, I found the quote or the line in this article that had said he has multiple times when he was in Atlanta said that's like his favorite player, Jonnu Smith. He was with Arthur Smith in Tennessee and in Atlanta. So now this is the third team where the two of them. So, like, that's a guy he loves. And now Aaron Rodgers is there. I'm sure he won't mind having a couple tight ends who can catch some passes.
So you're like, saying I need to pick up Jonnu Smith in fantasy this year.
I'm not giving any fantasy advice because
what you said. That's what I heard.
You know, I won my fantasy league one time.
I did too.
And you know what it was? I had Tom Brady and Randy Moss.
Oh man,
I had them. I had those two.
2008?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'm saying that was the one I won. And you know what? Then a couple years after that, I finished dead last, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out. Sorry, I haven't played since. I gamble, but I don't do the fantasy stuff.
The fan do their own league.
They do. I used to be in it. I got out of it.
It's a 14-team league. We don't.
No, you don't. And Rothman gets up at now. I could probably win.
Ridiculous.
Rothman gets up at 4 a.m. Him and Scotty Vegas, and they sit there and wait for the waiver wire. Whenever the waiver wire opens on like whatever site they use, they sit there and like refresh the button like they're buying tickets to Taylor Swift. That's what they do. And it's like, sorry, I got to have something else to do in my life than that. I can't. Good for you if you want to do that. I can't. Clip that in 2 minutes. We'll hear from the Big Ten commissioner, whose name I believe is Tony Petitti. We rarely see him or hear from him. You'll hear from him in 2 minutes. Steve-O and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday. Despite the rain moving in, roads are still looking really smooth for your Tuesday commutes here. A little bit slower for folks over on the west side, especially if you're taking 70 eastbound heading into the city. We, of course, have that ongoing construction out there, but thankfully, if you're heading out on the southwest side over by Groveport, 270 looking really good this morning. Drive times are pretty much up to par. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Listen to that! Son of a... That's unbelievable! Oh my goodness! Holy smoke! Just incredible!
T-Bone and Tyvis present Clip That.
Sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com. Receive a 100% match when you deposit up to $400 with the Prime Sports Ohio app.
Well, friends, Joe Klatt has a podcast. You hear him on Big Noon Kickoff quite frequently because the Buckeyes are always on it. On this podcast, Joe Klatt spoke with the Big Ten Commissioner, Tony Petitti, about the proposed college football playoff system. And as you'll maybe remember from all that talk a few weeks ago, the playoff format, the ideas were, let's have a format where the Big Ten gets 4 auto bids, the SEC gets 4 auto bids, and then these other conferences get fewer and fewer auto bids. That was kind of one of the ideas. The other one was there are 5 automatic qualifiers, one from each of the big conferences, and I think, whatever the highest ranked 5th conference would have been. Then all the other ones would have been at-large bids. Mm-hmm. Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, very high on the 4 auto bid system. Go figure. Here's him defending that notion.
So look, I understand there was controversy about, how many AQs one league gets another. Let's put that aside for now. I think what we're trying to focus on is, at least within the Big Ten, we're not asking to be handed anything. Like, we're playing non-conference games. We want to play tough playing games to get there, and we want to create an incentive for our schools to schedule more non-conference. Because if you're qualifying off your conference
record,
to
build a system that
increases
creates
more
tougher games.
Yeah, I want to play more. But look, we want to play. I think theoretically the goal is to play more non-conference games, because if you're qualifying for the CFP off your conference record and then a play-in game, the fact that you play a tough SEC or ACC or Big 12 team and maybe get beat on the road, or whatever the result is, that might impact your seeding down the road, but it's not going to impact your access. Like, there's 3 at-larges, so yeah, it does a little bit, but at the end of the day, that loss isn't fatal. Like, look, you can finish 7-2 in the Big Ten like Ohio State, and if you lost a non-conference game, or one of our schools finishes 7-2 and loses a non-conference, and they finish with a 9-3 record, they're in the tournament, because a 7-2 record is certainly going to get you into a play-in game in the Big Ten.
Okay, so I don't know if you knew this, Tyvis. This was not about guaranteeing his conference 4 automatic bids and thus all the cash that comes with that and all the accolades and everything else.
Oh, we know that.
This was all about making it so that they can schedule more competitive games. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I thought that's
you believe,
pretty interesting.
Do you believe him? I tell you what, it sounds good. It sounds.
Well, that's his job, is to make it sound good.
He almost convinced me a little bit.
Here's I'm torn on this issue because of a few things. One, now that I know the SEC coaches actually prefer to go with the 5 qualifiers, the 5 auto bids, and then 11 at-larges, that instantly makes me skeptical, because I feel like the SEC, they are like, Yeah, we know the committee's going to let us in.
Yeah.
We're like confident in that. We don't want this auto bid structure because we don't think 4 is enough. That's where the SEC is coming from on this.
Well, they are heavily biased. Like the people that judge it when they're in the SEC, so they got to be good. Like so they know that they're playing into that bias. Like, all right, so if it came down to it, if we went, I don't know, 9-3, we could get in, like, because we're the SEC. We went 9-3 in our conference, which is the toughest conference.
So there's a part of me that reflexively is just like, if the SEC doesn't want to do it, I kind of want to do it a little bit. But here's the other side. I don't like a system where you're guaranteeing 4 auto bids for 2 conferences. So 8 of the 16 bids are just automatically guaranteed to go to 2 conferences. I mean, the at-larges can still occur, right? You can still get more in than that, but 4 are guaranteed. We know there are years where the SEC doesn't need 4 teams in. We know there are years where the Big Ten doesn't need 4 teams in. Do we think last year was one of those years where we should have 5-6 teams in there? I don't think so. I mean, I know obviously the Big Ten champ came from the national champion came from the Big Ten. Yeah. Sadly, we weren't the Big Ten champs. I get all that. But ultimately, here's where I feel like this discussion is missing the mark. And that is, we have one conference in the Big Ten that plays 9 conference games. We have one in the SEC that plays 8 conference games. And then we have the SEC saying we won't play between a Big Ten SEC challenge type of game every year for a 10th game, right? They won't even play 9 conference games, let alone add in a Big Ten SEC challenge. The Big Ten is apparently all in on that, if you believe Brett Bielema. Brett Bielema said last week, all our coaches wanted to do that. We wanted to have 9 conference games, which we already have, and play the SEC once a year.
Yeah.
And the SEC won't even play 9 conference games, let alone do that. So I feel like until the SEC joins that discussion, I really don't feel like they should have a seat at the table. Sadly, I know they do because they have a commissioner who actually talks to the media. Greg Sankey goes out there and actually says something, unlike Tony Petitti. But that's sadly where I'm at, is that I want to see the SEC not get what they want, but I don't think a system that gives 8 automatic qualifying bids to 2 conferences is correct. I just think that's a bad system.
It sounds like you're torn.
No, I said I was, but I'm ultimately on the side of I don't want 8 conference bids to 2 conferences. No,
I agree.
Auto bids to 2. Like, I want it to be competitive and let the best teams get in there.
That's what I'm saying. I think that is fair. I think that because if the Big Ten is not a strong conference or the SEC isn't a strong conference, then you're essentially putting 2 teams out of the 4. 2 out of the 4 teams are probably just get in there and get smoked. Like that's to me, like that's all right. What was the point of that? To where you could have had. I want the top 16 teams in the country. That's at the end of the day, that's how I want them to get it right. I don't really need the automatic qualifiers.
Well, everybody wants that. There was a quote in this podcast, which go listen to it. The whole podcast from Joe Klatt is very good with Tony Petitti, but he had a quote in there where he was also talking about like I don't want to set up a scenario where we give that much control to the selection committee. And I do understand that logic, right? Like the selection committee will be biased, like you talked about earlier, towards the SEC, or at least they have been in the past. This last year, suddenly the SEC thinks they're victims when they get treated like a normal conference for once, but now we got to change the entire structure so they can get more teams in. But still, I just fundamentally disagree with giving 8 teams, no matter what, like 4 from the Big Ten, 4 from the SEC, even if that 4th team happens to be a 7-5 team. Then no, I'm sorry. You shouldn't be getting into the college football playoffs. You have to have the regular season matter a little bit, don't you? Isn't that what we like about college football?
If we're going to have a selection committee, then they just can't be lazy. That's my only thing. Like
they should.
You watch the tape.
You brought this up
Watch
before.
the games.
They should be full-time. Yeah. I don't know why these people have other jobs. And I don't think it has to be someone who, like, am I wrong? Maybe I'm misremembering. Was Condoleezza Rice once on this?
I hope.
Yeah,
not.
okay. I think she was, right, Dylan?
Yeah, she was, because she's big-time Stanford girl.
Yeah,
so
that's
she was
right.
Like the Pac-12, one of their reps.
And it's not because it's not because, it's Condoleezza Rice, she can't know football. No, I'm sure she can, but she has other things to do. More important things where she was, I think, working at Stanford or in like a high-level executive position there. They often get people who are the ADs or the presidents of schools or the committee. It's like Why are we having those people where they have real jobs, other jobs that probably take a lot of their time, and then they're going to watch some football? No, we should have people, Tyvis, like, I think it would be great to have former players, former coaches who, what do they do anyway? If you see John Cooper, when John Cooper's in here, John Cooper comes in, he's in his 80s, and he's still like, oh, man, I tell you what, I was watching this. Like, he watches film all the time. Yeah. These guys all sit around and watch film. Let them be the guys who have nothing else to do. They give them a paycheck, give them a chance to talk, and they can go watch the film. And then some former players, too.
A lot of people don't want to work that hard, T-Bone. Just throw that out. I think
there's a lot of people that would work that hard for that paycheck and for that.
You sign me up. I watch every game.
Tyvis, I know you would.
I get, not only when I watch it, I give you a breakdown of everything that I saw in 4 quarters of football.
I don't know why there's not a report, right? Like, if you want to come out every week with these I don't think they need to do the rating every week. I know they do for TV, but here's what I would do.
Say it sells, so
I know it sells, and that's what they have to do the rating, and they it's fine. But what they should do is put out a detailed report every week of, like, in this game, what we saw was this. And these are trends we've noticed with this team. That's why they're here. They're above a team that they lost to, but here's the detailed reasoning as to why.
No, I think
not have one old fart on TV once a year, be like, well, we selected because this is strength schedule. And then the next week it's like, strength schedule doesn't really matter, actually. It's really about game control.
They definitely do that.
Put the report out. Put a report out that says what it was, why you think that, and then actually, this is, again, do some work. Do some actual work as opposed to slapping a sticker on the board and be like, oh, yeah, we put them 12th. That's who they are. The 12th team in. And that's it. No work done.
You actually asking people to work hard.
I'm asking the most powerful people in college football to do their damn jobs. The ones that they said they wanted when they get selected for this committee.
I'm sure.
Don't be the AD at a big time program then. Why do we hire those people to do this?
I have no idea. That's the part that never made sense to me.
All this conversation makes me miss the computers.
Whoa.
Bring them back.
Yeah, Dylan.
AI is already coming for our jobs. Now you want them to take over college football, too?
Now there's an idea.
No.
Allen Iverson just sits in a room and does it all. Why not? He knew football. He played in high school. He was probably could have played in college. If he wasn't such a great basketball player, he probably would have. Let him do it. That's fine. All right, Morning Wood coming up next. We're going to tell you about what we would or wouldn't do. That's in a few minutes. Yeah, it's T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday. Despite the rain moving in, roads are still looking really smooth for your Tuesday commutes here. A little bit slower for folks over on the west side, especially if you're taking 70 eastbound heading into the city. We, of course, have that ongoing construction out there, but thankfully, if you're heading out on the southwest side over by Groveport, 270 looking really good this morning. Drive times are pretty much up to par. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Wake up and cash. It's Top Picks on Morning Juice. Powered by WeWinUwin.com. Professional sports bettor Chad Patrick. Dropping plays and juicing up your Friday mornings with fresh pick winners. WeWinUwin.com. Built by winners for winners. Stop guessing and start cashing.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
The Valley Swing Into Summer sales event is happening now. Over 180 Super Duties with up to $11,000 off. Pickups, stakes, dumps, and more. Over 100 Ford Transits, including brand new Transits at up to $7,000 off. Every Ford has huge pre-tariff savings, plus many with Ford employee pricing while supplies last. It's all waiting for you at the Valley Ford of Columbus Commercial Truck Center in Hilliard.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisor Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
One of these guys still believes he can play in the NFL. It's Tebow. He says it's because of his low center of gravity. He's dumb. This is Bone and Tyvis.
Thanks to our sponsor, Awaken 180. You can always tweet the program at Bone and Tyvis 971 or hop in the YouTube chat. Just search 971 The Fan on YouTube. Click on T-Bone and Tyvis, and you're right there. By the way, a sports radio calendar day. We're always excited to bring it up. It's one of those days every year on the calendar that have to be mentioned. Happy Bobby Bonia Day. The former Mets slugger, among others, former Pirates slugger. He is today collecting a check of $1.119 million from the New York baseball Mets. He is that's the 14th time he's gotten that payment over the last 14 years. He will continue to get it until through July 1st of 2035 because the Mets deferred, I forget how much salary it was, 8 or 10 million, something like that, back in like 2000 when he had his deal left. And they just said, we'll just, instead of, we give you the lump sum now or we could defer it. And he and the Mets agreed to defer it. And the Mets thought, that's what a sucker. Here's the thing. The Wilpon family owned the team. They're like, we've got this guy, Bernie Madoff, that we've invested all of our money with, or a decent amount of our money with. So he's making so much cash for us, this $1 million, we'd rather just invest it with him, and then we'll have all this cash to pay him, and it'll be fine. And then Bernie Madoff's scandal happened, and the Wilpons were the one of the few families, Tyvis, that came out of that, and they were actually making money off it. So when Bernie Madoff and his estate and everybody got sued by all the people who got screwed by him, Guess who was on the back end? They had to pay some of that. The Wilpons. So not only did they not make money off their investment, they then had to pay back people who sued them.
Why is it that? Why? Wait a minute.
And then they sold the Mets because they were dumb and bad. And thank God they sold them, because now they actually have Mr. Cohen, Steve Cohen, who is a billionaire and has no problem spending money.
He just they got the highest payroll in baseball, right?
Yeah. Oh, Steve Cohen could pay off Bobby Bonia tomorrow and just be like, with money in his couch. But he probably likes the publicity you get from this, because every year it's like, here's the Mets giving Bobby Bonia another $1 million.
If you was Bobby and they said, here, we want to pay you the rest of your money in a lump sum, would you take it?
I probably would, just because then you could put it in the stock market or something and let it make a few percent for you that it isn't right now.
I don't know. It's something about looking forward to July 1st.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I would make sure there was a direct withdrawal to me on July 1st from the massive amounts of cash that I have if I'm Bobby Bonia. So I wouldn't feel bad. I'd have that come out on July 1st every year.
Could you imagine looking at your bank account on June 30th like, oh yeah, let me go to sleep early, because when I wake up, I'm gonna have this. It's gonna say deposit. You have received a deposit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody's been there at some point where it's like payday comes and you wake up that morning and you hit the bank account on your app and you're like, there it is. Yeah, it happened. All right. Rent's getting paid this month. There we go.
When it's all said and done, Bobby Bonia would have made $30 million off the Mets for deferring $1 million.
Was it just $1 million they deferred?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute.
That's insanity. That's why they deferred it, because they didn't want to pay it all at once. They said
no. It was 5.9. Okay, 5.9.
So they said we can, but still. Instead of paying him, they didn't want to pay him the lump sum. They said we'll pay you smaller amounts because we'll be making it back on the investments that we'll be making. That's what the Wilpons thought. And he didn't get this money right away. I think it's, like you said, 14 years ago. So it started in 2010 or 2011 is when they started paying
$1 million for 14 years.
And he's going to get it through 2035. But why? It's like 25 years of deferred payments.
But I don't understand. You said it was a $5 million thing?
Yeah, $5.9 million is what they owed him and deferred.
Because they thought the interest would more than pay for the deferred payments down the road.
That's what they get.
Yes, it's stupid.
That's what they're
dumb. I'm glad they sold the team.
I'm glad Bobby did it. Yes.
There we go.
It's always good to see somebody getting some money like this.
All right, morning wood time. Let's do it.
It's good to know where you stand on the important issues. Oh, my. This is Morning Wood.
By the way, Dylan, before you start, I just want to preemptively say I would take $1 million a year from this radio station over 25 years. I just want to put that out there in case they're thinking about it. I'm in on that. Go ahead.
Good to know. All right, so with rumors of TJ Watt getting traded, what non-quarterback would you want your team to trade for? So for you guys, the Browns.
Oh.
Non-quarterback. Why'd it have to be that?
Justin
Jefferson.
Yeah, there you go.
Jay Jettis.
I don't know. I feel like I would probably go with Trent Williams. Give me a left tackle I can build around. And that way, God forbid.
DeJuan Jones, the former Buckeye. You don't trust him?
He's good. I want the best. You said that I can have anyone. I get a left tackle.
Jay Jettis.
All right, fine. There you go. There's your answers.
All right, with the Pac-12 expanding / making a comeback, if you could add 2 teams to the Big Ten, who would they be?
Ain't out of any conference?
Yep, any team. 2 teams.
Well, I'm going to take Notre Dame right off the top just to piss off Bodie. And every Notre Dame fan listening, I think. So I'm going to say Notre Dame for 1. God, who would I want to come in? I know Bo's big on like Florida State. I'm not big on that.
If this was the old Florida State, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but they're not.
Give me the U.
Miami?
Give me the U.
And who else? Notre Dame? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
Clemson, one of the two.
I'll go a little off the board. I'm gonna say let's throw in Virginia Tech.
No.
Throw in Virginia Tech.
No.
It's a great road environment. No. It's a fun atmosphere. I like Blacksburg. It's a nice little place to go.
Virginia Tech come to the Big Ten. I'm going to every game, and I'm hoping that Ohio State blow them out 59-0.
All right, one more morning wood there, Dylan.
Tyvis, you got your revenge the next year.
No, it ain't over. It ain't over yet. That ain't just. I'm not satisfied.
I want my restitution. That's right.
All right, this question is really specifically for Tyvis. Who would you start bench cut between MJ, LeBron, and Giannis? This stems from our group chat where Tyvis said Giannis is the GOAT.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we starting Giannis. Like, that's a given. Like, we ain't even. Oh, my God. Don't even talk to me. There's no other option. You have to start him. And we're going to bench Michael and we cutting LeBron.
What are you You're out of your mind.
I'm just saying.
You're cutting my GOAT.
Yep. He's out of here.
The answer is
out of here. He's out of here.
The answer is you start LeBron.
No.
You bench Michael, and then when you pull Michael in the second quarter, he just murders the other team because he's so pissed off that you benched him for LeBron. And Giannis is in the stands just being like, this is great. I love it.
No, that's
a lot of fun.
No. See,
he's a happy guy.
You're talking about one of the most dominant players to ever touch basketball.
I know, LeBron James.
No,
like I said, yeah.
Giannis.
And Michael Jordan. Yeah.
LeBron can't stop Giannis.
Yes, he can.
He cannot.
Yeah, he can.
Have you not seen them? Have you not seen them two go against each other?
Like 15-year veteran.
40.
I'm not doing this. I've seen 15-year. I've seen 15-year veteran LeBron.
It's Googleable.
Yes, like second-year Giannis going against 15-year LeBron. Yeah, I bet he had a little bit of an advantage. I'm just saying, in their primes, there's no chance.
Stop
LeBron,
it.
no.
Oh, you stopped that.
Oh, you stopped that.
Bring me Miami LeBron.
Giannis took a whole team to the finals and won it all with a bum leg. Stop it.
Yeah. If LeBron had the team that Giannis had, he'd have 18 championships.
Y'all need to respect greatness.
What are we talking about?
Respect greatness.
All right. OSU Hoops had some trouble winning Big Ten games in February. So one way to possibly fix that is to play non-Big Ten games in February. We'll discuss that possibility next. T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Drive time still looking pretty good in and around the metro right now. But of course, for folks over in our southeast side, especially in our Canal, Winchester, and Pickerington area, if you live over there and are heading out to the city this morning, US 33 westbound looking really slow this morning at 45 miles per hour. Just a little bit slower than usual as of right now. Make sure to take it nice and slow on the roads this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, it's Austin Ward here. Did you jump into Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th offer? If you did, wasn't it simple? People think losing weight has to be difficult, but it really isn't if you have the right plan, the right support, and if you're eating to lose weight. If you missed 40 by the 4th, no worries. There's plenty of summer left to hit your goals. Barbecues, golf, pool parties, all included with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Start today and start dropping weight your very first week. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Cheer on your Redlegs when they battle the Miami Marlins July 7th through the 10th. Don't miss another Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesday featuring $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups. Plus on Thursday, July 10th, rock out with country music act Old Dominion when they take the field for an Ohio Lottery post-game concert free to fans with a game ticket. Visit Reds.com/tickets today.
At United Dairy Farmers, Peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF Peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF Peach ice cream, made for you.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron, guess what we're getting ready to celebrate?
America's birthday?
That's right. How did you guess?
Well, you're dressed like Yankee Doodle, and you're wearing a tri-corner hat, and you've got a snare drum.
Get Eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get Eco. They can really go. Get Eco. For your Cinco. Fix in a blinko. You'll thinko. Hooray. Get Eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get Eco. You'll be cool like snow. Get Eco. Like an ice Ringo. Puerto Rico. Get Eco today. Huh? What do you think?
Jerry, are you suggesting that Puerto Rico become the 51st state?
I could invent a brand new 51-star flag.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Have a safe 4th of July, everyone.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Dylan Gonzalez. Cincinnati Reds rookie pitcher Chase Burns had a rough second start to his career. Burns was pulled in the first inning after 5 earned runs on 5 hits and 2 walks against the Boston Red Sox. The Redlegs would go on to lose by a final of 13-6. They'll play the Red Sox again tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game set. First pitch is at 7:10. The Cleveland Guardians had an off day yesterday, but they'll start a series tonight in Chicago versus the Cubs. Gavin Williams will be on the hill for the Guards, while the Cubs will send out Matthew Boyd to the hill for tonight's game starting at 8:05. And finally, the WNBA announced more expansion yesterday. Detroit, Philadelphia, and Cleveland will get new teams by 2030, joining previously announced Portland and Toronto, who will begin games next season. This update was sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Don't put off losing weight this summer. Reach your goal during the easiest season for weight loss. Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
In terms of the Waffle House menu, Tyvis covered and smothered his opponents. Meanwhile, T-Bone is a chunk of hash who's often covered in gravy. I'm not sure what that means either. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
You tweet the program at Bone and Tyvis 971. Plenty to get to today. We have some discussion coming up about the Buckeyes. Another defensive lineman made a choice yesterday where to go and didn't pick Ohio State. But first, paying off on my tease. So Ohio State and Virginia, when it comes to basketball, they've agreed to play a non-conference game on Valentine's Day, February 14th this year, 2026, but this upcoming season. They are going to be doing that. I mean, hopefully, these are both teams that, as of right now, whether you believe this or not, they are projected to make the NCAA tournament. So that would be, in 2 brand name programs that obviously have not lived up to expectations over the last few years, especially in Virginia's case. But yeah, they're looking at a neutral site for this to play it. No official site has been announced yet. Nashville is apparently one of the cities under consideration, according to CBS Sports. But what do you think of that? Do you like a non-conference game in the middle of February?
I mean, it's exciting. I would love for the Buckeyes to be a better team so we can get more primetime games.
I like that, too.
That'd be nice in the middle of February. And February has been the month where things have not looked good for 3 years now.
No.
So I guess this will bring excitement to it, instead of us thinking, all right, it's February, what is going to happen? Are they going to continue to lose in February? Or maybe this is one of those things that we actually have something to look forward to, where it should be a decent game.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I would probably, it'll be a fine game. I'm still locked in on, I hope this basketball team, like you said, can actually be somewhat competitive. You look at the guys they brought in this year, I don't believe they brought in a top 100 guy in the transfer portal. So that's a little concerning.
Well, they literally did the opposite of what they did a year before. The year before, it was go get all the big name that come from blue blood schools. This year, they went and got guys who they felt fit their system better. So, to me, you know what it is? It's all on Coach Diebler.
Well,
That's kind of what it is.
They brought him, or they kept him here, right? He's a holdover from the Holtman era. I don't think it's unfair to point out the fact that the Holtman offense that struggled at times to find consistency was something that was under his purview when he was an assistant coach. And now, do we see similar problems when you watch this Buckeye basketball team struggle to find consistency? If Bruce Thornton's not getting the job done, who has been the consistent second option? There really hasn't been one. Mm-hmm. And at times, go figure, teams are like, well, why don't we just go after Bruce then and see if anybody else can beat us? And that has worked defensively. There hasn't been much of an adjustment to that. So you got to have dudes, right? I think it's true in college football. I definitely think it's true in college basketball. The X's and O's matter, but it's the, what is it they say? The Jims and Joes?
It's the Johns and the Joes, not the X's and the O's.
That's right, yeah. So I think that is where we're going to find out this year. If the strategy now to go after guys who are a little more proven, who have scored, who have played better defense, who have done things for their smaller teams, who are now going to come up to Ohio State and try to do it at the Big Ten level, that's a different strategy than taking, and I never liked that strategy last year, of let's go get guys that the big-time schools said, we don't like this dude, even though he's a 5-star. Well, we found out why. We found out real quick why they didn't like him. We didn't like him either because he wasn't that good.
I think that you got to get people to buy in. That's the one thing that Coach Diebler has to do a better job is getting players to buy into the role. Everybody wants to be the star, but no, that's not why you're here. You're here because you have a certain skill set that stands out, and we need to maximize that skill set. If you're a knockdown shooter, we need to create ways to get you open so we can kick it to you so you can shoot a wide open three. Or if you're a rebounder, we need to have you in position so you can get down there and grab the rebound. People need to know what their role is, and they need to dominate their role. Stop trying to be this star all the time and just dominate your assignment. If you do that, I think that will lead to having a more successful season. And I think that was something that we didn't have last year. You had different guys trying to do different things, trying to take the game over themselves and things like that. And for you, like you said, when you point out, just double team Bruce or get the ball out of Bruce's hands. All right, the next person is who? Devin Royal, John Mobley Jr., and John Mobley was a freshman last year, and he had to step up and try to make some big things happen, and he didn't always answer the bell. Devin Royal, he took a step, but it just wasn't consistent enough. And then the rebounding thing, you don't even.
Well, if you can't rebound this year, don't even talk about the rest of the. It's not going to matter about the offense if you can't rebound, if you can't play defense. But
Diebler need to be doing rebound drills every day. every single day.
That's one of those that just rebounding and defense is one that always pisses off. Because I don't know, at least me. Because Dennis Rodman was one of the greatest rebounders of all time, and he was physically a gifted athlete. He was he was one of the least skilled guys you'd ever see play basketball, as far as dribbling, shooting, all the things that graceful basketball players can do. He was none of that, but he was one of the greatest rebounders of all time because he just would not stop.
Did you know that Ben Wallace was only 6'9"?
Yeah, I think I
had no idea.
Did you think he was 7 foot?
I did. I had no idea that he was that short.
7 foot with the fro.
Yeah, the hair helped. The hair helped a little bit, but yeah, I'm with you. It didn't matter. It didn't matter though. He had a great wingspan, and he knew where to get to the ball, and he played great defensive rebounding.
This man didn't he win defensive player of the year? This man dominated the paint.
He guarded Shaq in an NBA Finals.
Yeah,
and won.
This is unbelievable.
The amount of times that man pinned something off the backboard and it went flying.
I did not know he was that short. I really thought he was a 7-footer. That's crazy to me.
By the way, WNBA WNBA announced yesterday, making it official, something we already thought we knew. They are expanding to 18 teams over the next 5 years, with Philadelphia, Detroit, and Cleveland joining in the WNBA. Woo-hoo. So I don't know if they're going to call them the Cleveland Rockers, but that is what the franchise used to be known as. They begin play. Cleveland does in 2028. Detroit will come in 2029, and Philly the season after that. So pretty soon, I mean, if you like the WNBA, if you've enjoyed watching Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, you started getting into it a little bit more. Now you're going to have not just the Indiana Fever a few hours away, but Cleveland is closer. Detroit's only a few hours away. So you have options to go watch some WNBA games if you want to.
We need Juju Watkins to red shirt this year. Needed to take the red shirt, play 2 more years, and then get drafted by the Cleveland Rockers.
You're immediately going to be a Cleveland fan.
I mean, I'm going to be a Cleveland fan regardless. Okay. Hold on. Let's get
but so you said we. You mean the soon-to-be team Cleveland has needs that so they can draft her.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she'll be a big deal when she comes to the WNBA. I mean, she's going to be another one of those people, like one of those players that when she gets to the WNBA, eyeballs will focus on whatever team she goes to.
Yeah.
Instant revenue stream.
Oh, yeah.
Instant, there's going to be a lot of debate about when she comes in. Is she already one of the best players in the league? Assuming she comes back from her injury.
She's got to go. She's got to pay her dues like everybody else.
I saw Caitlin Clark. There was a little story about her. She got voted by her peers. The peers, all the players did a vote on who were they do these lists of who's the best player in the NBA, best player in NFL. They ask other players.
Yeah, that's called the top 100, the NFL's top 100 list like that.
Well, apparently, due to
Asia Wilson is one.
Yeah, so apparently the top vote getters for the All-Star game, 25% were the players. The player vote had Caitlin Clark 9th among guards. And so here's what I just want to say. Here's all I'm going to say about that. There are going to be a lot of people in the next 24 to 48 hours who are going to have. No, they did. They said the player vote, because this was the All-Star voting was 50% fan, 25% media, 25% players. The player vote that's out there has her 9th among all the players. So what I'm saying is just be aware that with the player vote, if you have an opinion on that, and you're in the next 24, 48 hours going to hear a lot of opinions about that, about that's so wrong, and these players hate Caitlin Clark, I will just ask this. Anyone who has an opinion on where Caitlin Clark ranks as a top guard in the league, you have to be able to name 9 other guards in the WNBA before you tell me that this list is BS. Because if you don't even know 9 other guards in the league, how can you say she's better than all of them? You don't. She may be the best guard in all of basketball for all I know. What I'm saying is the people who voted on this, the one we're talking about that had her 9th, are the players who play the games. So if you don't like that, that's fine. I hope you've watched enough WNBA to at least know 9 other guards in the league before you start rattling off your opinions. That's all.
I think that and people take into consideration that she missed some time with the strained quad. When she came back from the strained quad, she had an unbelievable game, but since then she's been in a big slump.
You do have to play defense, too. I just like to point out to some people, I don't know if you understand basketball.
But I also will say I don't think she's the 9th guard.
What I'm saying is when the NFL players say this guy's number 1, this guy's number 2, we're all like, wow, what a lot of respect they're showing him. When the WNBA players say Caitlin Clark's the 9th best guard, people are like, gee, they don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, do you know what you're talking about? Name 9 players in the WNBA.
See? People can't name 9 WNBA.
Some of the people are going to be yelling about this. Clay Travis, I guarantee you can't name 9 people in the WNBA, but he's going to have an opinion on this. I guarantee you that. And you know why.
Dang, that's crazy. I can name...
I'm fired up today. I'm in a mood today. Imagine being so bad at your sport that the federal government investigates you. That actually happened to a pro sports athlete. We'll talk about it next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good Tuesday morning. So things are still looking good for a Tuesday commute. No major accidents or delays to report as of right now. But of course, for folks over on the west side, especially if you're taking 70 eastbound, we got you at 63 miles per hour. Of course, we have some ongoing construction in that area just north of West Jefferson. Crew members are on scene as we look at our traffic cams, so make sure to take it nice and slow for them. Be very, very cautious. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
The Valley Ford Swing into Summer Sales event is happening now. Over 650 new Fords with huge pre-tariff savings, plus many with Ford employee pricing or even lower while supplies last. New Escape starting at just $25,990, up to $8,500 off Edges and Explorers, and up to $14,000 off F-150s too.
Hey, it's Stephen Kwan. Steal the better deal at Valley.
Get to Valley Ford of Columbus in Hilliard.
When it comes to home improvement, you've probably asked yourself a few key questions. Is the salesperson trustworthy? Will the company follow through on their promises? And is the work going to be a lasting solution, not just a quick fix? At Newman Roofing, we get it. As a locally based, family-owned company, we know how hard it can be to find a contractor you can truly trust. For over 33 years, we've been providing homeowners across Central Ohio with reliable roofing solutions done right the first time. When you choose Newman Roofing, you'll be greeted by value-driven professionals in clean company vehicles and crisp uniforms who show up with a smile and take the time to answer your questions. Because for us, it's not just about the roof. It's about protecting your home, your family, and the trust you place in us. If you're thinking about your roof or siding, call the local company that puts integrity first, Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Cool people, good time. It's the biggest and best hot rodding event of the year. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 classics from across the USA. Shop the swap meet at Huge Vendor Midway. See which rides take home the crown of the 2025 Classic Instrument Street Rods and PPG Street Machine of the Year. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large big gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large big gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. How much income will you need to retire? Let us help make sure you reach your financial goals. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. SafeHarbor.com. OH.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
It's hot out. Stay in the house and cool yourself with the sweet sounds of The Fan. You can watch on YouTube or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan. It's the equivalent of putting ice cubes down your pants. All right! The Fan.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop this morning, some which could be on the stronger side with heavy downpours and gusty winds.
Wake up temperatures in the 70s, and then we will see skies start to clear out in the afternoon to early evening with some spotty showers and storms, highs in the mid to low 80s. For tonight, patchy fog developing overnight, and then for Wednesday, we'll have some of that fog to start and plenty of sunshine in the afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
2 men, 1 appendix. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
We were talking last segment about Caitlin Clark. The players voted her the ninth best guard in the WNBA, and people are mad about that. I was just looking at the list of, because they have it broken down by the fan rank for the All-Star Game voting, the media rank for the All-Star Game voting, and then the player rank. And then they combine all that to determine who gets to be in. So the All-Star guards, the WNBA, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Alicia Gray all made it in. Sabrina Ionescu was rated second by the players. Alicia Gray was first. Kelsey Plum is on this list, and I don't think she's going to get I don't think a lot of people are going to run to her defense like they do for Caitlin Clark, because I just don't think the people who complain all the time about the WNBA pay enough attention to it to know this. But like Kelsey Plum, if you want to talk about someone who apparently is not liked by the players, Kelsey Plum plays for Los Angeles. She's a great college scorer, one of the greatest scorers of all time. 6th by the fans as far as the voting goes. 6th by the media as far as that voting goes. The players ranked her 16th.
That's messed up.
They do not think she can play, which, just pointing out, it wasn't just Caitlin Clark got screwed and nobody else. Like, it's almost like the players play the game and maybe they see it a little differently than the fans and the media do. That's all right. That's why we like to hear from former players, right, Tyvis? It kind of helps when you have that perspective. It's good.
I
don't think it's overrated. I think it's good to have that perspective. I'm glad we get to see that.
Because you do see things and you go up against these people, and it's been a lot of times that you go up people like, they is not who they think the world say they are. And then you look at it on tape and be like, this the same dude that everybody guessing up. Like, I don't see it. So it's times like that all the time. And I'm sure that's how people feel about, Caitlin and obviously Kelsey Plum.
Yeah. So yesterday, the Miami Heat's Terry Rozier, who's been around the league. Terry Rozier got some good news.
Cleveland's finest.
Yeah.
Shaker Heights.
He got some good news because you may remember that he was under investigation for gambling, sports gambling scandal. Now, we talked yesterday about Malik Beasley of the Pistons.
Yeah.
He is just now being made aware that he is under investigation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this investigation has been going on for a while. And so they were looking at betting trends on Terry Rozier prop bets that took place in March of 2023 when he was with the Charlotte Hornets. So they've done their investigation. They concluded Terry Rozier didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing that he did that apparently was in effort to throw a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to point out that all the highlights that got passed around where they're like, look at this man throwing this game. There are specifically highlights from a Cleveland game where they had the land uniforms on with the light blue.
Yeah.
And he was like just rolling the ball under people's legs.
Just throwing it away.
He was dribbling and just like left it.
Yeah.
That's how comically bad he was that the FBI was like, we have to look into this guy because there's no way that guy's just playing basketball. Clearly he's throwing games.
You know what it looked like? It looked as if the Monstar stole his talent mid-game.
That's right.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Space Jam in real life.
Terry really done fell off just bad. That's a shame.
Throw it in reverse, Terry. Try again. Start over. That's I'll tell you. I don't know if that, I'm sure it is good news for him because he finally doesn't have to have, you were a sports gambling cheat. But now you have to live with the reality that, no, I'm just really bad at basketball.
It's time.
Do you go in and just say, look, here, watch me dribble? And then he dribbles it off his foot, and they're like, oh, okay, we got you. Our bad.
Now, Malik Beasley, on the other hand, the clip of him, which I don't think he's not being investigated for that. He's being investigated for his time with Milwaukee, but still.
There was a clip of him when he was with Minnesota, right?
Yes.
where the game was they were down 9.
No, they was up 9.
No, they were down 9.
I thought they was up.
No, because the line was like plus 8.5 for him.
Yeah.
And with like 5 seconds left, whoever they were playing misses a free throw. And he, usually when you're down 9, it's 5 seconds left. The guys just grab the rebound and then start shaking hands and it's over. He sprints down the court and dunks it to make it down 7.
I want to know how he's going to explain that. I don't know what you say to that. Like,
but go ahead.
My friend Peyton also sent me some more damning evidence of Malik Beasley. This is him post-game interview at the end of his season with the Bucks in 2023 and 2024.
All right.
I came here for a championship. I bet on myself. I bet that we would win, and we just came up short.
He bet on himself, and he bet that they would win. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phrase that people say all the time, but it's not one that you want when they're federally investigating you for betting on yourself. That is not what the phrase. It's like, no, I meant that in the spiritual sense, not in the actual sense. I didn't. Oof, that's not good.
He make too much money to be gambling. Like there's no way. There's no way that he would.
I don't know why any pro, like an NBA player specifically. Did you see all the contracts flying around yesterday?
Man, it was a dude got signed I never even heard of.
Oh,
I think he was like the first one. I think he went to the Kings or something. I've never heard of this guy in my life.
There's so many contracts where Shams Charania would have like a post and it's like so-and-so going to wherever. The team is very excited to sign him to a small deal for, 3 years. It's $17 million. You're like, what? Mm-hmm. Small? Again, I know it is in the NBA because you have guys making $200, $300 million. But, yeah, I don't understand why even a end-of-the-bench guy in the NBA would risk it when it's like, yeah, if you do a 10-year career where you're just the end-of-the-bench guy, you're going to pocket at least $20 million. No question. And you could just go with that and live your life.
I understood it, 100 years ago. 1919 shoeless Joe Jackson, they're pumping gas in the offseason. I understand the Black Sox throwing a World Series, but Malik Beasley, that's set to make probably, almost $100 million in free agency. What are you doing?
Yeah, this was a big year for him, and now all that's on hold till they figure out what's going on. But hey, you know what? Terry Rozier, welcome back. You're just awful at basketball. Bad enough that they had to investigate you. I did see that Ty Jerome signed with the Grizzlies, so there's a guy who's no longer with the Cavs. So
the Cavs chose Sam Merrill over Ty Jerome.
I'm surprised by that.
It has to be the playoff performance. That's the only thing I can think of. And they must have said to themselves, we made Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome was a product of our system because of the offense when we ran. That's what allowed him to flourish. I guess.
I
don't know. It didn't make sense to me because I'm thinking – when you seen his deal, you're like, okay, he's going to go for around $13, $14 million. And then it's just like, 9? I think a little bit over 9. So it's like, y'all gave Sam Merrill more money than that. Yeah. So it was, I don't know. It was a wild thing.
Ty Jerome needed to go to make room for LeBron.
Go on with that, man. Go on with that.
I did see D'Angelo Russell got a deal. He is signed up with Dallas. So he's going to be playing there with Cooper Flagg. And
LeBron is not coming back.
He's going to do.
Let it go.
You've got also Cam Johnson got traded to the Nuggets for Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected first. That's
a big trade.
Brooklyn. I didn't know Cam Johnson was like. I haven't. To be fair, I got to do the Shaq here. I wasn't familiar with your game. Like I mean, they're looking at him and saying he's a better defensive upgrade for a Nuggets team that wants to be able to go compete for a championship, and he can still spot up and hit threes. Well, so I get it, but
I think Michael Porter
unprotected first for that.
Michael Porter Jr. had like something happened with his shoulder this year where he wasn't right, and I think maybe the Nuggets is looking at that like, we don't know if you're ever going to be who you once were again, so let's go ahead and trade you. Because Michael Porter Jr. hit big threes. He was essentially their second best rebounder on that team. He did a lot when he was healthy, but in the playoffs, I mean, it was nice where he couldn't hit a shot and he couldn't get no rebounds because of that. He had like this big pad on his shoulder that he was playing through.
I forgot about that.
I think that's kind of why they was like, Cam Johnson is a guy that can hit big shots. He can do all the same things. Maybe he's not as much of a rebounder as Michael Porter Jr., but when you talk about another playmaker that you can get the ball to that can create his own shots, I think that's why they went ahead and made that trade.
I also saw Jayshawn Tate signed a deal with the Rockets for a year. So
yeah, the Rockets and Hawks is like going for it.
Congrats to the Rockets on your championship, because you signed up Jayshawn Tate for another year. I think that's the they've had him. He's been there, but now go Bucks. He's going to get it done.
He's getting paid. I don't know how effective he is, but he's getting paid.
Ohio State, the football team, may have heard of them. They're suddenly having issues recruiting one of very important position. We'll talk about it next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still noticing some major slowdowns, especially for folks over on the east side. Reynoldsburg, Bryce, even Canal Winchester this morning. You got 33 westbound at 54 miles per hour. A little bit slower for your average drive times around this time, so just take note of that. Other than that, other drive times northbound here, 71 north, 670 to 270, got you at 8 minutes there. 315 north between 670 to 270, got you at 9 minutes. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Ready for the 4th? I know I'm going to be enjoying steaks, ribs, maybe a cold soda pop or two, but guess what? It's the same tasty stuff I enjoyed while dropping 75 pounds with Awaken 180. That's the beauty of this program. It's doable, no medications, no starvation, just great food while I dropped an average of 4 to 5 pounds every week. Make this summer your best yet. Drop the weight while keeping the flavor. Celebrate freedom from dieting stress. You can visit awaken180weightloss.com.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
When Tyvis looks at Bone, he sees the future. Bald, fat, white. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Not anymore. Tyvis is getting his hair fixed, he's getting everything done.
I'm out in the sun.
Love to see
making
that.
Making sure I get to keep my tan.
Good for you. I went out yesterday. I went out at 4:30 in the afternoon and went walking for half an hour in the blazing humidity.
You know what I did yesterday?
What'd you do?
I walked on an incline on a treadmill.
That's supposed to be good.
Man, it's harder than it sounds.
No, I know. I've done it.
I thought it was, I'm like, walking. Who did I run? Who walking?
Walking on a treadmill.
Man.
Yeah.
I was grabbing the side of the treadmill.
You can't do that. That takes away the benefit. You got to, don't grab the side.
I was going to say, you have to hold dumbbells while you do it. So you don't grab the side. That's the next move for you.
I was on like a 6.5 incline. For people that
I've done that. Yeah.
Those are steep. Ooh,
it is. Yeah. You should, you know what you should do is go get one of those backpacks and start rucking. You know what that is?
Yeah, you put the weights in the bag.
Yeah, and then you start walking around. That's what I do. This is the plan. I've been rucking for the last 20 years. I'm just carrying extra weight around so that my legs, they're really strong now. Now, when I lose all this weight, get ready. You see the muscle, it's under there. It's somewhere. It's trapped in there, but it's there.
You got a long way to go.
Yeah. Thank you. I know. All right, so we talked about this yesterday a little bit. It got a little bit worse again yesterday afternoon. So Carter Meadows, he was the guy, one of the targets that Ohio State had. He committed to Michigan on Sunday, and that was bad. That was a 4-star guy, defensive end, edge rusher type that Buckeyes wanted, didn't get. Yesterday, and I saw this guy, I saw like the teams that he was going up against, that the Buckeyes were going up against for this guy's services. 4-star edge Landon Barnes, he has committed to Ole Miss. 6'4", 245 from Duncanville, Texas. So, I mean, like in the South, but not like, oh man, he just grew up an Ole Miss fan and there was nothing they could do about that. Like, he's from Texas, chose Ole Miss over Ohio State and Washington were his 3 options, his final 3.
Washington.
I know. I thought that was, well, that's bizarre. Maybe he's got a connection to Washington I don't know about, and that's fine. Either way, sucks that Ohio State couldn't get him. And all this stuff, like we saw over the weekend, we talked about it. Our guy Jeremy Birmingham, who has done great work covering the Buckeyes for many, many years, him and Austin Ward. You can check him out on 10 Plus, their podcast as well. They do a great job. But he tweeted a bunch over the weekend about how Ohio State with NIL is playing it safe this year with all the new rules, with all the clearinghouse stuff coming in, the whatever the commission is that's going to kind of be keeping track of everything. They're trying to do things above board and make sure that every I is dotted, every T crossed. A lot of other schools are saying, "No, we're good. We're going to keep doing it the Wild West way." And I don't know that that's exactly the reason this is happening, but he kind of put that stuff out there over the weekend, and now you're seeing these things come in. I don't know if he knew that was going to happen, or again, I'm not as plugged into recruiting as these guys are, but it seems like perhaps this is not the only thing that we're going to see because of this. Like, it's a little bit of a worrying trend, isn't it?
It is, because I think what's going on is, when you look at it from a recruit standpoint, you look at last year's draft. Let's just go to the draft. You had these 2 5-star guys that's top of their class, and they went in here and they had a decent career at Ohio State. Obviously, winning the national championship is big, and I thought that Jack Sawyer played a huge part, and I thought JT made some really good plays as well. They went in the 3rd round. The other one went in the 5th, I think.
I think you're right.
Something like that. So from that aspect, it's like, well, he ain't really churning out first rounders like that anymore.
Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the school.
The school in general. Larry Johnson's the coach, right? I mean,
like as far as an edge rusher go, obviously Tylik went first round this year for a defensive tackle. But
well, that's all right. That's fair. Yeah.
As an edge rusher, like, they ain't really putting those guys in the league like that. I think before them, who was the DM before that? He went to the Falcons in like the 3rd or 4th round. Zach.
Oh, the dude from Olentangy?
Zach.
Why am I blanking on who this is? That's bad. Hang on.
Anyways,
I don't know why we're blanking on this, Dylan. That's bad on our part.
That is terrible.
Zach Harrison.
Zach Harrison, of course.
There it is.
God.
So, like, you haven't really put that type of guy. And Zach Harrison was another guy that was physically gifted, had all the potential to be this first round pick, and it didn't pan out. So recruits, they see those things. They're like, well, y'all ain't really developing and putting these first rounders out there anymore. So I think that Ohio State has to evaluate that as well. You have to look at the fact that why are we, when we did get the 5-star guys or the top talented guys, why did they not pan out? Why could we not get these guys to be first rounders? And that's a question that they have to figure out if they want to help themselves in recruiting. Because if they would have been churning out just first round picks after first round picks, then you can do the Brian Hart line where it's, all right, we can't offer you all the money in the world, but if you come here, you're going to be a first round pick. Yeah. Well, that's not the case. So now it's flipped. If I ain't going to be a first round pick, then I need you to pay me now. So like that's I think that's where we at.
That's a solid point. And I think going back, because I was just looking through while you were talking. Yeah, Joey Bosa went to the Chargers 3rd overall in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Then you
Chase
go through.
Young, then Nick Bosa.
Well, you had Nick in 2019 was 2nd overall.
Mm-hmm.
Chase went 2nd overall in 2020. And then
that was it.
Here are your defensive ends who have been drafted. I mean, Jonathan Cooper, 7th round guy for the Broncos, right, in 2021. Then 2022, Tyreek Smith went to the Seahawks in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Harrison, like you mentioned, Falcons 3rd round, 2023. From a defensive end standpoint, I'm skipping over, like Mike Hall Jr. got drafted second round by the Browns, but he's a defensive tackle. And obviously Tyleik Williams got drafted in the 1st round this year.
Yeah, we're talking strictly edge rushers.
But just edge rushers, yeah. I mean, JT went in the 2nd round of the Colts, and Jack went in the 4th round of the Steelers. So you're right. Like, you haven't had a 1st round defensive end drafted since 2020, and you've definitely had guys, those 2 specifically, that I think people thought wouldn't have been, they probably would not have, I don't know if they would have stuck around. NIL being what it is, it's hard to say. But like, if they had first round grades on them last year, like prior to after the 2023 season,
I mean,
they might have gone. Like I'm saying, but they didn't have that. And so they came back, they got paid as they should. They won a national championship here, but they still didn't get that first round grade on them. And I wonder if that's what recruits are looking at too. If the money's all going to be about the same or slightly less than, maybe I'll go somewhere else where there's a little more money, and maybe I think there's a better chance to get drafted in the first round.
Well, the interesting thing is if you looked at every mock draft last year, before the season, Jack and JT both was going in the first round. Now, JT was the one that was a little bit later, but people was talking about Jack being one of the best DNs in the country.
Yeah.
And obviously he goes on to have a really good season, and yet he still goes in the fourth round. Like it's wild to me.
Some of it has to do with like measurables and just some of that BS, as you know.
For sure.
NFL
talent
evaluators.
They said that he wasn't bendy. He wasn't like a bendy guy.
It's like he made one of the biggest plays in the college football season. Ultimately, you could say is one of the key reasons why they won a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, but look at his waist. We're not sure if he bends well enough there. Like, okay, fine. I don't know how to evaluate NFL talent. These people do, supposedly. Let them live.
If Pittsburgh moves off of TJ Watt for him, ooh.
Well, I mean, that would be a vote of confidence,
wouldn't it?
There's rumors flying around that they want to trade, or that teams are calling them about trades.
They're gonna call all they want. There's no way you're trading TJ Watt. Like that's ridiculous.
No. I don't know. Do we have a full blown emergency here with defensive ends at Ohio State? It's hard to feel that way when you have a national championship trophy that is the one you get to defend this year in college football. I'm not like pushing a panic button and, oh my God, people need to be fired, anything like that. What I do think is, I think people are correct who point out, and when you hear some of the big recruiting guys starting to do it, who are close to the facility, saying, yeah, this isn't a Ryan Day problem. This may not even be a Larry Johnson problem. This is a funds available problem, coupled with maybe some things like that where, look, I mean, the reality is Brian Hartline gets dudes to be first-round picks in the NFL. Not every coach can say that on that staff.
That's true.
And if you can't say that, then the next thing is show me the money. And if Ross Bjork or others are saying, we're not ready to do the show me the money thing the way we used to because the rules are changing, you're kind of in the situation you are. It makes sense. I'm not panicking. But if this goes 2 or 3 years like this,
you can't afford to.
No, you already have defensive line depth issues.
The problem is we've already went 2 or 3 years. I mean, outside of what? Edric Houston, I think, was the only. I think he might have been a 5, maybe high 4-star.
I think you're right.
And now he's playing defensive tackle. So, again, when we talk about just premier edge rushers, we have missed for like 2 or 3 years. And at some point, it's going to come back to 100. We might see it this year if Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry and company and Bo Atkinson and C.J. Hicks, if those guys don't pan out.
Yeah, it's starting to become a worrying trend that could have ramifications down the road.
Again, the second most important position in football is.
Don't worry, you just go on the portal and overpay for guys there. That's the only way to fix it, short of suddenly getting 5-star guys to start coming here and then getting them to turn into first-round talent. I mean, that's the expectation at Ohio State, like it or lump it. A lot of people traveling this weekend because the holidays, long weekend. I have a travel story from hell coming up next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, the rain is finally here in our area, which means that it's looking a little bit dicier on the roads right now. Your west side commute, especially just north of West Jefferson, definitely noticing some downpours. Our traffic cam 70 at mile marker 88. We do have crews still on scene doing that construction, but of course want to make sure to take it nice and slow with them as well as the rain. Drive times looking over here, 32 miles per hour in certain sections, but 55 miles per hour, a little bit better 70 eastbound as you approach the city this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And Bet and Reduce Juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know what it's like to be stuck in that cycle of pain where you're trying to get better. You keep going to the doctor, steroid shots, surgeries. Do not go down that road anymore. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics. They will help treat you without going under the knife and without the meds. QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine to help your body heal itself. And I should know, I've been a client there, and they helped me with my knee get back to the running in the summer and going whitewater rafting and all of the things that you enjoy. And this is the critical part about my friends with QC. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's peace of mind. It's not just a number. They're trying to help you. They're the second opinion that you're looking for to keep you from getting under the knife. To find out if you're a good candidate, go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. The consultation is free, or call 380-2845-44. That's 380-2845-44. They have offices all over Central Ohio. So go check them out.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large big gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large big gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Evan Cohen here. Typically, you don't associate speed with quality. For example, you don't go through a fast food drive-thru and expect a gourmet meal to go. Well, here's an exception. If you're hiring, you can find candidates fast who are also extremely qualified for your job. Just use ZipRecruiter. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can proactively find qualified candidates in minutes. No wonder why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Both of these men love the Browns. Also, both of these men hate the Browns. If you know, you know. This is T-Bone and Tyvis.
Sorry, I'm getting mad in the break.
T-Bone fired up. He is fired up today.
I'm never, you know what, Tyvis, I am fired up. And here's why I'm fired up. Because it's hot out there. And you don't want the energy from your cold air conditioning that's working perfectly. You don't want that leaking out of your old drafty windows. Your air conditioner's great, but it doesn't feel great because your windows suck. That's why you need to go to my guys and gals at Window Nation. They have some of the best energy efficient windows out there. Their installation crews are top of the line, so they're going to make sure they put them in right. So once you get them from the factory, they're great. But if they don't get put in correctly, then you still have the issues, right? They're going to put them in properly. They have at least 16 years experience, average 16 years experience on these crews. So go get better windows today from Window Nation. You can call them up right now, 866-90Nation, or go to windownation.com, and you can save big this month, 50% off all window styles. And get this, 0 interest for 5 years. I pause so you can think about that, ponder it, chew on it. 0 interest for 5 years. That's like free money. That means you'll pay no interest until 2030 on your new windows. So Call them up today. Schedule the appointment to get your house looked at. They'll figure out what windows you need. And by the way, all window styles, 50% off, 0% interest for 5 years. It's a great deal. It's a great time to buy from Window Nation, 866-90Nation or windownation.com. Tell you what, Tyvis, I would be fired up if I was on Air France flight A350 from Paris to Chicago on June 28th.
Why
that was just 2 or 3 days ago, over the weekend. This flight from Paris flew over the Atlantic, flew over, probably right over our heads, on its way to O'Hare. Okay? As it was approaching O'Hare, they said, hey, permission to land, because you have to, there's all these federal guidelines, especially for international flights. They have all these rules. Well, apparently in the pilot world and in the flights world, there is, when you're coming over international waters, apparently you have to get a certain type of permission to land at an international airport. And you have a very select window of time. Now, I have to imagine they are aware that like delays happen, things like that. Apparently this flight had a 15-minute window where it was supposed to land, and it didn't hit the window. So when they requested permission to land, O'Hare said, sorry, we have no room for you. We have no terminal for you. Can't do it. Can't make it happen. Sorry. And so it says in this article that Air France flight A350 turned around and flew back to Paris.
You kidding me?
They said, of course, it was a nightmare for everybody on board because they had people who were traveling from Paris back home, and obviously had people who were leaving from France to go to the U.S. for like a vacation or work or whatever they were doing. So you had massive like rebooking, hotels, I can't only imagine the logistical nightmare of getting all these people off that plane and onto, and then taking the person who's at the desk who's like, wee, and then just people screaming at them, get me to my flight, get me back to Chicago.
I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way that this pilot was black, because if this was me, that plane's landing. Whether I got permission, we gonna sit on the runway. I'm landing this plane. I'm not going back. Are you crazy?
I don't even know, because I know it's not the longest flight planes do. I know planes travel from the U.S. to Alaska, and they go down to Hawaii, and then there's international flights that go over to Asia, right? Like I know planes can fly a long way, but if you fueled up planning to go to Chicago and then you thought, well, that's good. Well, put a half tank in. That should be good. I assume they fill these planes to capacity, but some planes are just not built to fly that far. I just am shocked. They're like, oh, fly back another 5-6 hours? Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, I'd have looked at them. I'd have been like, no, you don't have permission to land. Excuse me? I got a plane full of people. We landed. If we gonna land somewhere, we gonna land right in Soldier Field. We gonna land on Soldier Field or something. We ain't going back.
This I cannot. So it says here. I'm reading. This is an article. This is like an aviation website that has this article. They said the heart of the issue lies in the rules set by U.S. Customs and Border Protection for international flights arriving at Chicago O'Hare. All international flights, whether commercial or private, must get permission from CBP at least 24 hours before landing. This permission is not open-ended. It is only valid if the plane arrives within 15 minutes of its planned time. If the flight is early or late by more than 15 minutes, the clearance is canceled and the airline must get new permission to land. But like we said, it takes 24 hours to get the new permission. So I didn't know this about flying. Now, maybe this is just O'Hare.
How long that flight was, because that.
Well, I mean, what do you like? I'm just thinking like New York to England, like New York to London is probably what, 5-6 hours?
You say this is Paris? It was
Paris to Chicago. It's got to be a 6 or 7 hour flight at least, and then they turn around and fly back. Like you gotta be kidding me!
Whoa! I thought this can't be right.
Well, it's got to be you have to look for a direct,
non-stop direct flight.
Okay,
9 hours and 5 minutes. There's no way. Yeah. This plane landed somewhere in Chicago. It is. No, I'm telling you, yes, it is.
Here's what it says. Here's the timeline. The flight left Paris at 12:49 CEST. I'm not sure. That's probably whatever time. I don't know what time that is.
Central State.
Central Eastern Michigan
time.
State. Yeah, whatever. After nearly 7 hours in the air while flying over the mid-Atlantic between Iceland and Greenland, the plane turned around and headed back to Paris. All right, so they didn't make it all the way to the U.S., but they had already flown 7 of the 9 hours.
Yeah, no,
and then had to turn around and fly 7 hours back.
This plane is landed. I'm sorry. I don't. You know how long people you know how long in today's world, you know how long people saved up for them tickets?
Oh yeah.
Crazy. That plane
sure
landed. I'm sorry.
For those of you that are now curious, Central European Summertime.
Oh, there we go. That actually sounds like a good band. Hey, welcome to Glastonbury. It's Central European Summertime. Hey, and they're just playing pop music. Yeah, it sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being on that flight.
Do you guys have a travel story somewhat close to that?
I don't think.
I ain't never had nothing where the plane turned around. Now, the worst thing that's ever happened to me on the flight is that the 2 things. One, I had to travel with no Wi-Fi because when I played for the Dallas Cowboys, we was on this big 757, and some odd reason it didn't have Wi-Fi. I was like, Jerry, come on now, you got Wi-Fi? We had to travel to Honolulu from
because
Oxnard.
Did you guys do a training camp out there?
No, we did. We played a preseason game against the Rams.
Yeah.
And we had to train whole 4 or 5 hour flight, no Wi-Fi. I was like, this is horrible. So that was the one worst thing. And then the second thing is last year I missed my connecting flight in Denver.
Yeah, see, these don't
coming from Oregon.
Yeah, I mean those seem like normal travel. I've only had like normal travel delays where it took a long time to get through security or something. Nothing like this. No, I've never had an issue where the plane didn't take off or they deboarded us.
I was on that plane. It's landing in Chicago. I don't care what you're talking about. We ain't going back.
The worst thing I did was I was on a plane to LA. I was going to WrestleMania a couple years ago, and I left my wallet on the plane.
Did they call you and tell you they found your wallet?
I literally was about to go, when you're at the airport and you're leaving and they're like, hey, once you leave this point, like there's no going back.
Yeah.
When I saw that sign, thank God it like clicked for me right then and there. I was like, I don't have my wallet. I need to turn around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
yeah, because then it's like, no, I need to go back in and get my wallet. It's like, do you have ID?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you would have to go through, TSA again, and I don't even have my ID.
Oh God.
So I was lucky I realized it in that moment, and then I was able to turn around and went to like the help desk, and then they sent someone up to get it. But yeah, it was almost really bad.
That would have been terrible.
I cannot imagine being on this Air France flight. I would have lost my mind. We need to face some harsh realities with the Blue Jackets. We'll talk about it next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday. We are noticing more drivers over on our west side taking it nice and slow because of the rain that we're noticing in that area. But even for folks over in Grove City, if you are making your way out the door, especially heading towards the downtown scene, 71 northbound looking a little bit slower than usual. Got certain sections at 48 miles per hour. Just more congestion as even more people head out the door this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brayna Albizu with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter. Declare your independence on the open road with RCD RV. July 5th through 19th. Shop 650 plus RVs now at rcdrv.com.
Used car prices are sky high. Valley's paying top dollar today. Don't waste time selling it yourself. Any car, any truck, any year, we want it now. No games, no waiting, just cash. Get to Valley before the market drops.
ValleySuperstore.com. Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Buy 5, Save 5 deals at Meijer are a great way to stock up on all your 4th of July celebration supplies. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more when you mix or match hundreds of items, like 24 packs of select Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. Oscar Mayer Classic Beef Franks, Kraft Shredded or Chunk Cheese, Dole Chopped or Premium Salad Kits, and Dixie Family Pack plates, bowls, or hot cups. The Buy 5, Save 5 deals at Meijer. That's the good life. A good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. If Baths R Us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Dylan Gonzalez. Cincinnati Reds rookie pitcher Chase Burns had a rough second start to his career. Burns was pulled in the first inning after 5 earned runs on 5 hits and 2 walks against the Boston Red Sox. The Redlegs would go on to lose by a final of 13-6. They'll play the Red Sox again tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game set. First pitch is at 7:10. The Cleveland Guardians had an off day yesterday, but they'll start a series tonight in Chicago versus the Cubs. Gavin Williams will be on the hill for the Guards, while the Cubs will send out Matthew Boyd to the hill for tonight's game starting at 8:05. And finally, the WNBA announced more expansion yesterday. Detroit, Philadelphia, and Cleveland will get new teams by 2030, joining previously announced Portland and Toronto, who will begin games next season. This update was sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter. Visit them in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
Tyvis Travis Powell is a legendary Buckeye. T-Bone loves to eat Buckeyes. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
You tweet the program at Bone and Tyvis 971. Tyvis, let's talk a little hockey. All right,
let's do it.
It's the season, July 1st, free agency starts. All that. Let's talk about a couple of guys who avoided free agency yesterday. All right, let me give you the numbers on one of them. Okay, one of these guys, 29-year-old defenseman, had 33 points for his team last year.
Okay,
he had a little bit of an issue with a PED suspension.
Oh.
So there was that.
Okay.
So it's not like everything's been rosy or great.
He was cheating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That guy yesterday signed an 8-year deal, average annual value of $6.1 million per year. Okay.
6.1.
29-year-old, 33 points last year, 8 years, $6.1 million.
Okay.
We have another guy, 28-year-old defenseman.
Okay. Slightly, so 1 year younger.
33 points last year.
Okay.
To my knowledge, no PED suspension.
Okay.
So that's a plus.
That's a plus.
8 years, $8.5 million.
So you get $2 more million a year.
Yeah. Now, if I add in a little bit of a other factor here, one of those two guys was an alternate captain on the Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers.
Oh, okay. That's a bump.
That's pretty good.
That'll get you
Yeah, right. The other guy played for a team that didn't make the playoffs and was 25th out of 32 teams in goals against. And he's a defenseman. Both these guys are defensemen. I should point out they're both defensemen. They're both in their late 20s. They both signed 8-year deals.
And his thing is defense.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
well, then I'm not paying him.
Who would you pay the $8.5 million to?
Probably
over 8 years, each of 8 years. So that's a lot of money. Who would you give that to? Would you give that to the alternate captain of the Stanley Cup winning team, Florida Panthers, who did have a PED suspension? Or would you give that to the guy whose team missed the playoffs, was 25th in goals against, and is fine, is a dude? Who would you give $8.5 million to? Because I can tell you what happened.
Probably the first one, because even though he's a cheater, but maybe when he's off the stuff, he's still good.
Aaron Ekblad signed with the Panthers for $2.5 million a year less than the Jackets signed Ivan Provorov yesterday. Just make it make sense to me, folks. Please help me understand.
Technically, the money kind of evens out because
how?
The Jackets, you got to pay taxes. In Florida, there is no tax.
You know what? Ding, ding. Good point. I guess if you have the no state taxes, you almost threw me with that. I got to Chet Holmgren myself.
All right, let me lock in.
All right, back to the point. And that is, fine. Let's say it's equal value for both those guys. One of them is one of the best players in the NHL when he's not on the stuff and getting busted for PEDs. All right. One of them, the only thing I can hear from the national media and the local media when they talk about signing Ivan Provorov to $20 million more total value than a guy who won the Stanley Cup just a couple weeks ago, the only thing I ever hear them say is, I'll tell you what, that guy eats minutes. Oh, man, he's a minutes eater. He gets out on the ice, and he doesn't leave. He stays on the ice. And that's good, right? He's healthy. That means he's talented enough to be an NHL defenseman, and it means that he's relatively reliable. Those are all good things, right? Those are nice qualities to have in a guy.
Yeah, but that's not paying. I'm not paying for that. That's not paying a decent coin for that. I feel like you can go get those type of guys.
We have to stop talking about the Jackets like they're a charity case and people are we're lucky to have these guys. This is an NHL franchise. This is a franchise that has been, talked about at times by some in the media as like, who wants to play in Columbus? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously we know sadly what happened with Johnny Gaudreau, but when Johnny Gaudreau came here, remember what he said, which was, I really like this place. I can't wait to come here and be a part of this. I think it's a growing town, a great organization, all these things. There have been people who decided to come to play for Columbus who have really loved it and have wanted to put down roots. This is a great community.
I will continue to tell you, if you have never been here and somebody says, let's go to Columbus, you're going to be like, Ohio, Columbus,
Right.
And then you'll get here and be like, you know what? The fans love me. They treat me like a king. Life is great.
Sure.
Nobody bothers me. Like, actually is pretty good here. So it's one of those things, until you come here and experience, you will have a bad taste in your mouth. But to me, obviously we live here, so it's
like
great. I refuse to go to Cleveland to live in Cleveland because I want to stay in Columbus.
Here's what I'm trying to get to with all of this, because I understand it's not necessarily fair to compare Aaron Ekblad deciding to stay with the Florida Panthers, where he's won 2 Stanley Cups, to, well, why doesn't a guy like that want to come to Columbus? Obviously, I don't think he was going to anyway. If he left there, he would have gone somewhere else for more money, and probably it wasn't Columbus, right? I'm guessing. I could be wrong on that. But the issue here is, I sometimes from the local media around here, and from some fans, to be honest, hear this sentiment of like, well, hey, can't blame the Jackets. What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to be an NHL franchise that gets moves made. There have been other defensemen that were available, if they were willing to make trades, if they were willing to deal, that they could have had. Instead, they looked at a defense last year that, sure, we know goalie is a problem. We know Elvis should leave the building. But if you want to put it all on Elvis and say that, oh, man, if we had Jet Greaves, yeah, I mean, we got a small sample size of Jet Greaves. I'd like to believe he can be an everyday goalie for you and that he can be a top 15 goalie in the league. That'd be awesome. If you had that, your defense probably isn't 25th in the league. But let's not pretend that this defense just has dude after dude after dude, that when the Florida Panthers come to town, they're scared of this defense. They're not. The toughest teams in the league are their centers and forwards are not afraid of this at all. They're not afraid of this defense. They are afraid of like, oh man, if we get overexposed, they can come down and they can score 5 or 6 goals on us, and then that's going to be a track meet. But they're not afraid of getting just annihilated by this defense. Let's not pretend that Ivan Provorov is some great defenseman. He's solid. He's not an 8.5 for 8-year guy. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense.
The reason why the whole thing doesn't make sense to me is, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. If that's the case, why did you decide to just run back the exact same defensive lineup? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, you expect them to be better? Like, that, I don't get that part. Like, you got to shake it up at some point. Maybe it is just Elvis, but I don't think that's the case, because if that's the case, then they should have let him go a long time ago, which people will say. But you got to stop the puck from getting down there as well, and that's on the defenseman and everybody else that's in that lineup. So to me, when you got Don Waddell and you talk about these big splashy moves, like, I was excited. I was so excited.
I blame Elliot Friedman for this, because he had us all thrilled that we were going to get all these. And by the way, to be fair to Don Waddell and the Jackets front office, like, I do think they tried, but do or do not, there is no try. Like, that's pro sports, man. It's also Star Wars, but that's how it goes. At some point, I don't give you credit for like, oh man, we were right there. Oh, Noah Dobson, almost.
To be fair, in this situation, we don't know the conversations that they had with other defensemen. Maybe they did reach out to other defensemen and they turned them down.
Yeah, it could be that they said, if you can trade for me, but I won't re-sign with you. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, well, they're not going to move a whole heaven and earth to get a guy that's not going to re-sign.
Maybe they did their due diligence on all these guys, and they was just like, you know what? We might as well we're going to miss on all these guys, so let's just take the one that we got. Like, maybe that's what happened.
It almost feels like what happened here was the Jackets kind of made it known to some in the NHL, however it got out, that they were very interested in upgrading their defense. Those in the NHL circles, whatever that news got out, those players then, or those teams that were working with the Jackets said, good, we can up the prices. Jackets then didn't want to pay the upped prices, then had to go back to their defensemen who exist on the roster and say, hey, about all that, we were going to cut you loose out of Provorov. What's it going to take to make this deal happen? And suddenly he's like, guess what? My price went up too. Because he would be one of the better defensemen on the market if he got to the free agency. But that doesn't mean he's worth $8.5 million to this roster and to this organization. Good news is the Jackets have plenty of room. They can afford a guy like him for now. But let's say Denton Matejchuk becomes the guy we all hope he is. He's 20 years old. Like, down the road, 6, 7, 8 years from now, when you're still going to be paying this contract out, salary cap's going to go up. But I don't understand this Provorov move, other than the best thing I hear about him all the time is, he eats minutes. And that's true. He does.
We need to.
And he's solid. But he's not $8.5 million guy. I'm sorry.
This organization needs to win games in the immediate future.
I'm sick of waiting around.
To make Columbus more of a preferred destination for people.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, right? Rasmus Anderson was another guy they were looking at from Calgary. He is off to the Knights, so there's another guy off the board. I'm waiting for the splash move. I want the splash move to happen.
Well, the splash move happened at approximately 5:30 when I was cooking dinner. When I got a text message from Dylan Gonzalez and you saying, and Baker. It's over. It's over.
Mitch Marner, your guy, he's also going to Vegas. Yeah, it didn't happen.
Messed up my dinner.
I was mainly texting you to see if you were okay more than anything else.
Yeah. I was not.
No.
You know what I did? I was making some Rasta jerk pasta yesterday. And when you text me that, I was just putting the jerk in, the seasoning in. I put a little bit too much. I had to give it an extra kick because
we got to find a better way to say that you're putting jerk seasoning in a pasta, because you need to have a separation between jerk and in. just saying. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, he exists. He spoke yesterday. We'll hear what he had to say next. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, definitely noticing some slowdowns for your Tuesday commute with all the rain we're seeing right now. 270 at Davidson Road between Hilliard and Upper Arlington this morning, making sure to take it nice and slow. Drivers, of course, are doing that right now with the ongoing rain there. Drive times as well. Dublin and Hilliard, if you're making your way out the door, 270 southbound and northbound, definitely a lot slower than usual this time around. And Madison County looking at you as well with the ongoing rain in your area. 18 minutes if you're taking US 40 east between 42 to 270. 16 minutes, a little bit better if you're taking 70 east, West Jefferson to 270. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know what it's like to be stuck in that cycle of pain where you're trying to get better. You keep going to the doctor, steroid shots, surgeries. Do not go down that road anymore. Go see my friends at QC Kinetics. They will help treat you without going under the knife and without the meds. QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine to help your body heal itself. And I should know, I've been a client there, and they helped me with my knee get back to the running in the summer and going whitewater rafting and all of the things that you enjoy. And this is the critical part about my friends with QC. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's peace of mind. It's not just a number. They're trying to help you. They're the second opinion that you're looking for to keep you from getting under the knife. To find out if you're a good candidate, go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. The consultation is free, or call 380-284544. That's 380-284544. They have offices all over Central Ohio, so go check them out.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27-7 Racing Nationals presented by PPG. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Get summer blockbuster savings at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Right now, take up to $6,000 off MSRP on any new Kia in stock. Plus, get free maintenance for a full year when you buy. Get any new Kia with up to $6,000 off MSRP. Visit CoglinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 2025 Kia Sorento XY. MSRP $47,990. $3,000 Coughlin discount. $3,000 factory rebate. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking nitro thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop this morning, some which could be on the stronger side with heavy downpours and gusty winds. Wake-up temperatures in the 70s, and then we will see skies start to clear out in the afternoon to early evening with some spotty showers and storms, highs in the mid to low 80s. For tonight, patchy fog developing overnight, and then for Wednesday, we'll have some of that fog to start and plenty of sunshine in the afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvis is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
Your home for football, food, and fun. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
You missed anything from this show, including me losing my mind about the Jackets and some of their one of their recent signings. You can check it all out. Just go to the podcast. Search T-Bone and Tyvis wherever you get podcasts. It's all there for you. Click subscribe or follow, whatever you have to do. And it's right there for you every single day, free of charge. Also in the YouTube chat today, bunch of people weighing in on some of the stuff we've been talking about. Andy said we should worry maybe that Larry Johnson is losing his recruiting edge. He can coach him up slowly, but we keep making excuses on why we can't get rid of Johnson. When he retires, we got to get a recruiter. It's something that's been talked about for a while with Larry Johnson. And yet again, more defensive end talent not coming to Ohio State. Yesterday, another four-star guy chose to go to Ole Miss over Ohio State. They missed on the dude who went to Michigan on Sunday. I'm not bothering learning their names because they're not playing for Ohio State. But, yeah, these are concerns that Buckeye fans have been saying for a while. And you have a national championship that you get to defend this year. I'm not saying that it's, oh, my gosh, blow it up, everybody needs to be fired. I do think it's reasonable to have a discussion about what happens if you keep missing on top defensive end talent. You miss on five-star guys all the time now. But now you had 3 or 4 4-star guys look at you recently and say, yeah, no thanks. That seems concerning, Tyvis. Is that fair to bring that up?
No, it's definitely fair. I mean, it's warranted. I mean, we went through it earlier in the show about just the talent that he had. You know, you had 2 5-star guys last year, and neither one of them went in the first round. And none of them really had, outside of a couple of games, they haven't had that consistent impact that you thought that they would. And the problem is that Coach Johnson, when he first got here, he had Joey Bosa, then he had Chase Young, then Nick Bosa. Like, he had these guys that was just dudes, and we got spoiled of like, oh, if this is what Coach Johnson is producing, like, oh my goodness. Like, so we as fans was like, if it's not that, then that's a problem. Even though when you go out and you recruit these guys and you're getting 5 stars, we automatically assume that they're going to be a Bosa or a Chase Young. And that's, we got to realize how special those 3 guys really were.
Yeah.
So we're being a little unfair in that. But when it comes to this recruiting and missing, like the fact that we can't get the 5-star guy, and it's been 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Unless you count Edric Houston, which he was an edge, but now he plays D tackle. If you count him, all right, it's only been a year. But outside of him, like, they haven't been able to get these guys, and it's a concern now because we all watched the spring game, and we said, everybody walked away from that spring game saying, That defensive line is going to be a concern.
Yeah,
the defensive line is what I'm worried about the most.
And that's not wrong. I mean, it happens when you don't get 5-star guys. And by the way, 2 of the guys that were 5 stars recently that the Buckeyes did land I believe Zach Harrison was a 5-star guy, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like at one point I thought he got to 5-star.
Maybe. I know he was a 4 for sure. He could have gotten it, but they do get to 5.
I thought and sometimes it's like, oh well, he's got the Ohio State offer and he's really good, and they bump it up. But either way, if he was a 5-star or not, I thought he was. Was Jack Sawyer a 5-star guy?
I believe he was.
Okay, and he's from Pickerington. Jack Harrison's from Olentangy. Like I'm saying, you had 2 of the last 3 5-star defensive ends you got were from like local, which is good that you landed those guys. But I'm saying the guys outside of here are not seeing it anymore when it comes to Larry Johnson. It doesn't appear. And if the money's going to be similar and not vastly superior to these other places, I would think you show a national championship ring and it gets a lot easier, right? I would think you just go, well, the reason you should come here is I won this last year. But don't a lot of recruits probably look at that and go, that's great, but I'm trying to get to the NFL. And if they're seeing or hearing things from recruits that are saying, yeah, I'm not sold on the coaching approach individually for me from my position coach, that's why I'm not going there. That then creates another barrier that you have to overcome. If you're trying to recruit a 5-star guy now and they're out there saying, yeah, I didn't like what I was hearing from Larry Johnson.
I think this is a big year for Matt Patricia and that defense, because if you do want to land these edge rushers, then if Matt Patricia can come up with a scheme that allows these guys to be able to be effective in games, because I think that's the one thing with Jim Knowles, he missed out on some recruits because of this. He wanted people to play the jack position.
Yes.
Some people was like, I don't see myself playing this jack position. Then it was funny because he would try to get recruits in here and tell them, we're going to play this jack position. But when you turn the film on, we're not even using the jack position. So that one was kind of interesting. You remember Jack Sawyer's first year, he played the jack position and he was not effective at all. Nope. So he had to put his hand back in the ground, and that's when he started making those plays. So to me, it was just a ton of confusion of what was asked out of those edge rushers. Yes, I know it's as simple as get to the quarterback. It sounds that simple, but for some odd reason, that wasn't what we were getting in that Jim Knowles scheme. It wasn't until, Ryan Day had the intermission after Oregon game where we actually started to see these guys start to flourish and start to get this pass rush and all these things because they simplified the defense. So with Matt Patricia being a guru that he is, I want to see, you got Kenyatta Jackson, you got Caden Curry, you got Bo Atkinson, you got CJ Hicks. I want to see if you can put these guys in position, because maybe those guys aren't, 5-star number 1 DNs in the world, But if you get these guys to play like that, okay, now a recruit in high school can look at that and be like, all right, now when they come in, this could be you. This is you. This guy right here wasn't even a high recruit, and we got him to do this.
Yeah.
Like that, now you're enticing a recruit to be like, all right, I want to go there. I can see myself there. I'm better than that guy on tape naturally. So when I get there, being under Coach Mick, getting my body right, and Matt Patricia's going to let me do my thing and teach me how to get to the quarterback and all those things, and I get these sack numbers, now I am a bona fide first-round pick. Now the money, I don't have to take this huge deal in NIL, because I'm going to get it later. So, that is something to me. I think it's a big year for Matt Patricia and our entire defensive staff when it comes to those edge rushers.
Here is Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti. He was on Joel Klatt's podcast yesterday, and he was talking about the push to get into having a top 4 automatic bids for the Big Ten and the SEC.
The goal for me, right from the beginning, and I really felt strongly about this, and maybe it's my experience coming from MLB, where you have that one entity. I really believe that you've got to have a postseason format that makes the regular season better. So I start from that. I want more teams to feel like they're chasing that opportunity to compete for a national championship. Teams can get hot late in the season. The fact that they lose a game early shouldn't disqualify them. Those type of things. So to play more meaningful conference games as late as possible. I think you see that in the professional sports model. They try to keep as many teams alive for as long as possible. And especially when you get into a world when you condition fans to think about this great new playoff that we've created, they're gonna focus on achieving that. And so to the extent that teams don't have the opportunity to get there, it's going to eventually, hurt. And so we want to make sure we have the interest that teams can break through, have a remarkable season, qualify, and play. And we just believe strongly that, conference record is like the backbone of all of that. Like how you play during the season, qualify off your conference record. That's sort of the best way. Okay. We believe.
I feel like that's a weird way to say we want the Ohio State and Michigan games of the world to mean less so that Purdue and Illinois in November can mean more. That seems like a weird trade-off that apparently I know pro sports makes that trade-off because they want all of their franchises to feel like they have a chance to make the playoffs, right? But the reality is college football is special when OSU plays Texas, when LSU plays Alabama. Some of those games should matter more to me than, hey, look, Vanderbilt and Kentucky still technically have a shot at the final, it's like, what? Great. Good. Do I care about that? I shouldn't. I don't want to. I want to care about the big dogs.
I think they're trying to sell themselves on the underdog story. People kind of rooted for Indiana last year when they made the postseason.
Sure,
because it was like, oh, it's Indiana. They never really do anything. It'd be nice to see them do something. So I think that brings ratings. People, and the thing
unless you have your broadcasters openly crapping on the entirety of that team for the entirety of that game.
But before that happened, people tuned into that game.
Right.
But I think that the problem is all of that is cute and it sounds good, but people forget that football is just different. Like in basketball, yes, that's the thing. In football, if your team ain't ready or ain't good enough, it's very seldomly are you going to go out there. If you ain't got the athletes, you're just not going to go out there and dominate and think you're just going to pull these upsets all the time.
No.
Like even us in 2014 when we did what we did, it wasn't like we was bums. It wasn't like we wasn't good players or anything like that. We just went up against teams that people thought was really good teams, but yet when we got to there and played those teams, we realized we talent for talent, we just as good as them.
Right. And that's where I think football and basketball are just so different. To your point, you have 22 starters plus probably another 10 to 15 guys that rotate in who are heavy participants on both sides of football.
Yep.
You're talking 30, 35 guys that have to be as good as the other 30, 35 guys for that to be a competitive game.
And that's very hard to do in college football.
In the NCAA tournament for basketball, you need one dude to hit 30. And
that's it.
The goal for me, right from the beginning, and I really felt strongly about this.
Tony Petitti, shut up. Sorry, the button hit again. All right. We'll come back in 2 minutes. We have a game changer. Speaking of college basketball, a game changer for that sport in 2 minutes. T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday. Well, unfortunately for folks over in Powell and Worthington, we're noticing some major slowdowns out there. That's, of course, with this ongoing rain that we're noticing in our area. Definitely slow 270 westbound, eastbound 53 and 47 miles, depending on where you're coming from. Of course, 23 northbound also noticing some slowdowns, 34 miles per hour, and 315 southbound, 36. So definitely not looking good for your Tuesday commute. Want to make sure you take it nice and slow on the roads. Again, rain is still falling. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
T-Bone and Tyvis is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Sign up today at awaken180weightloss.com.
The only contraband hiding in Tyvis's butt cheeks is a Kit Kat bar. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
By the way, if you are someone who roots for billionaires getting millions of dollars from the state coffers, good news. Yesterday, I believe it was all signed and sealed and delivered. The Browns are getting $600 million from the state of Ohio to go build that stadium in Brook Park. I saw they closed on the property a couple days ago. So domed football coming to Cleveland, baby. Get ready for it.
Yes.
Out in Brook Park.
Love that.
Yeah, Brook Park.
You know, it'd be sad. Before they decide to move on from the downtown, they have to host at least a playoff game. Since 99, they have never hosted a playoff game in their stadium.
I mean, the Muni Lot deserves one, don't they?
They have to get it done. They got, 3 seasons to get that done? They got 3 years. Get it done.
I think Deshaun Watson will be off the books by then, so maybe they can afford to be better. Who knows? But I would be shocked if that's happening this year. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of the questions I have about them moving out to Brook Park. Where does the Muni Lot go? I mean, because obviously the lot exists next to the downtown footprint for that stadium. I would presume that no one's going to sit there and tailgate and just watch games from a parking lot. Are they going to be able to they should build a replica Muni Lot there, shouldn't they? Shouldn't that be in the plans of just have the same number of spaces? Tell all those people who have been there for years, you still have your space. It'll be here. It'll be right next to where it is in Brook Park. I'm just trying to think of how you take care of the fans in this. If you're going to take $600 million from the state to build your stupid stadium, you should at least do something nice for all those fans who will brave all the cold weather or have for many years, and not just forget about them when all the luxury suite crowd shows up now because you're in a dome. I don't think you should kick those Browns fans to the curb. That's what I'm trying to say.
I just hope that there's some affordable tickets at some point for this one, because I know them ticket prices is going to be.
That's the funniest thing you've said all day.
That's good. They got at least a section, They're
not going to do that.
Why not?
That section's going to be called. No, man, they're just going to, because it's the Haslams they're in this to make money, and obviously they want to build a winner and all that stuff too. But they want to make, like any owner, they're looking to make some money off this, and they're going to with that property.
Don't forget about the little people. That's all.
I agree with you on that.
I was going to say they're doing it here, 2,000 seats where you don't have to be a donor of the 112,000.
Oh, at Ohio Stadium?
Yeah. They reserve 2,000 for the little people.
That's right. See? Everywhere else you have to donate, but that little spot, you're exactly right. So I saw this yesterday. I know you guys are very excited about this. EA Sports teasing that they are bringing back their college basketball game in 2028. And I think this is a good thing for college basketball in general, because one of the problems I feel like college basketball has had over the years is getting name recognition for players when you have a lot of one and dones. I do feel like if you're putting a game out there that allows people to, because the sport's changed since this thing was out, right? How long has it been since this game was previously there? It's been a long time.
It's been like 10, wasn't it a decade?
I think it was like 07 or 08.
Well, because Ed O'Bannon, remember?
Long?
Ed O'Bannon had that lawsuit, right? Where he's like, my likeness is being used in this game and I'm getting paid nothing for it. Because he was on like a legendary version of the game, right? Where you could play some former legends, guys who had big moments in the tournament. And that whole lawsuit is part of what kicked all this off and eventually led to the Supreme Court saying you can't limit what these guys make. You got to allow them to do NIL.
Dang, it was 2009.
See? So I'm saying
Griffin was on the cover.
But that was an era where you had a lot more players sticking around for 2 or 3 years. You had a lot more known entities. And if those players stuck around, they weren't necessarily transferring from Wichita State to Duke or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you had kind of an idea of who was playing a little bit more. I think having a game where you sit down, you play, you pick your teams, and you see guys before the season even starts, and you can kind of get used to like, oh, yeah, this is the best player on that team. Then when you see a game in January, you're like, oh, yeah, I got to watch for player X, player Y, because you've already learned their names. You've gotten a little more familiar with them. In a sport like college basketball where you have so much transition, 1-year dudes, guys who are going to 3 schools in 4 years, that probably helps, right? It probably helps you have a better fan base that can expand a little bit from your core fan base, which is strong. College basketball needs to get out of just being a March Madness business. That's what I'm saying. And I think a game like this, whether they mean for it to or not, it'll probably help them in that regard.
The only thing, when I seen this announcement come out yesterday, the only thing that I thought about is, why can't they bring NBA Live back? That's the first thing I thought about. If they gonna do this, bring NBA Live, because 2K has lost their mind. Like they need some type of competition because they don't care about the customers anymore.
Is that all like? Because were there competing versions of NBA games? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know NBA Live. What was NBA Live?
You don't don't know NBA
I
Live?
don't know. What's the difference between that and the current game?
There's a reason why 2K still exists and NBA Live doesn't. That's all I'm going to say, Tyvis.
Nah, brother. You know what? If NBA Live came out this year, I would buy it.
What was good about NBA Live or versus 2K? Why don't you like, or why did you like NBA Live?
I didn't. I transitioned to 2K, but the problem is 2K is so terrible now, and all they're gonna do is keep rolling out the same type of game because nobody's there to challenge them. So they need NBA Live to come out to challenge them to make a better product.
By the way, we need to wish a very happy retirement to our guy Mark the Shark, who was
Shark ain't retiring. I'll believe that when I come in here tomorrow.
Today on Morning Juice. You can go watch it on YouTube. You can go check it out on 10 Plus starting at 10 a.m. You can go see this on 10 Plus, which you should go add to your Roku or your Apple TV or whatever you have right now. But you can go watch it. It was a cool ceremony they had in there. They had a bunch of former hosts there. I don't want to spoil any of their surprises. They had a lot of cool stuff, video tribute, all kinds of things for Shark. He deserves everything that he's getting there. And we talked to him a little bit before the show today, and he said he's going to try to hit some national parks. He and I like to talk about national parks. He loves to travel to those places.
He ain't going to do that.
And then what did you say when you walked in? What did you say to him?
I asked him, was you really going through with this?
With his retirement.
Were you really going through, like, Shark? Come
like
on.
it's a day off for just, mental health. You're like, are you really going to go take a day off for that?
Yeah.
He's taking it's his retirement.
He's going to Europe. He's going to Italy or something, he told me.
Shark will be in here tomorrow.
No.
Shark will be back tomorrow. He can't. You know what's gonna happen? Shark gonna go home. He gonna take tomorrow off, and he gonna be like, man, I don't know what to do with myself. And he's gonna miss it. And
Not
he gonna come back.
Tyvis.
He's gonna come back. I don't even give him the rest of the week. He gonna go through the 4th of July. He gonna have some fireworks. He gonna have some hot dogs and burgers. And Monday's gonna come around, and he's gonna be like. He's going to get up at 2 o'clock like he always does.
No, he's not.
And he's just going to, his body just naturally just going to bring him to the station.
I don't know if people know this about Shark, but that's exactly what he does. He goes home after this when he gets done here, and he goes to bed until the evening. And then he and his wife will go and like have dinner, and like he'll watch games, and he'll live his life in the evening, stay up, come in here, do the show, and then go to bed through the day. So now he gets to sleep on like a normal schedule again.
Well, that's overrated.
No.
Before I even started working here, I heard the legend of what T-Bone just said. Like just being in radio, I'm like, this dude, legend in this market is known for being a great on-air talent, but also his vampire-like sleep schedule.
Yes. So why would he want to go to? Who wants to live a normal life?
He's doing his
probably
job.
Does.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
He's gonna be
his
like
grandkids aren't up at 2 a.m. He wants to go see his kids and his grandkids and live his retired life.
He can see them on the weekend.
Oh my God! I'm telling you what, Tyvis,
people want to work.
You want to work?
No, you want to work. I want to not work if I don't have to. Our job, to be fair.
Y'all would be bored if y'all was like a millionaire. Y'all would be bored. I'm telling you.
Don't get me wrong. Short of not working, this is the next best thing.
Yes.
I do enjoy this job.
That's what I'm telling you.
But there's always the extra level of just not working at all, and Shark's getting ready to do that.
Boring.
He's getting ready to choose what he wants to do.
What are you going to do? Go home and just have conversations with your wife?
I could whittle. You ever grabbed a knife and a piece of wood and just whittle? I don't even know if I'm good at it.
What do you
know why I don't know? Because I don't have any time.
What are you, 80?
Yeah, someday I hope to be. And I hope I'm good at it when I'm 80. Because I've retired at 65.
That sounds like a boring hobby. That's what I'd rather you be on here yelling about the Blue Jackets.
Yes, but playing as guys you aren't on NBA 2K. That's it right
That's
there.
another life that I could have had.
I've said this before. I grew up listening to the station. Common Man T-Bone, one of the big reasons why I got into radio. This is like my dream station. As soon as the money is right, Tyvis, I am out of here. I am retiring. As soon as the bank account says I can retire,
you know what?
That's what people are doing.
Y'all don't really love this then. That's what it tells me. Y'all like some of them athletes that I played with. Y'all don't love this.
Tyvis, I get up at 3 a.m. every day. I think I love this. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m.
Love
for
what
no
you
reason.
do.
I do.
If you hear anything from me today, love what you do.
I will say with Shark, I listened to him when I was in high school, which I'm 42. So, that's a long time ago. And I remember hearing him on the Blitz 99.7 where he was doing sports updates there. So to get to work with him the last few years, when I found out he was coming here, I was overjoyed that he was going to be part of the fans. So
don't worry, he'll be here Monday.
He won't. Shark, I wish you well in your retirement. I am not living in denial like Tyvis. We are going to miss
Shark
you very much around
It's going to
here.
be a shame, too, because it's like Tom Brady. He said he retired, and he's going to come right back.
I don't think so.
His wife might leave him, too, if he comes back.
I wouldn't blame her. It's time to go. It's time to retire.
Apparently, Savannah James is about to beat Giselle if LeBron don't hang it up soon.
That's right. The buzzer is next. It's T-Bone and Tyvis on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, as the rain continues to move into our region, we are noticing a couple of traffic alerts out there, especially for folks over in Gahanna. The left shoulder is blocked right now on 670 US 62 East, just beyond Airport Road there because of a disabled vehicle. Make sure to take it nice and slow for folks out on the road this morning. I'm 10 TV's Brianna Albizu with your fan traffic.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Why would we trade our best player?
Well, at least you got to watch him in person when he was here.
I named my only son after him.
So you'll always remember his name.
Yeah, but what do I do with this jersey?
Luckily, the company has a great return policy.
I wore it for 6 seasons.
Well, at least you're home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Every time Tyvis laughs, take a drink. Just kidding. You'd be dead in 30 seconds. You're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis.
Now joining us, one of the triumvirate of hosts. I can't even say it. Triumvirate of hosts for Bishop and Friends. He is Eric Reeser.
Gentlemen.
Reese, how you doing, bud?
Well, how are you?
Are you going to buy the new March Madness video game when it comes up?
In 2028? Yes. Probably not.
Why not?
Because I haven't purchased a video game since Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden.
Yeah, see, I'm more where Reeser is. Like the most video games I've purchased recently have been for my kids.
Yeah,
they're all into Mario Kart and stuff. You know, Nintendo DS or whatever it is. Switch.
The little kid in y'all has died.
Did you get a Switch too?
No, we didn't do the Switch 2 because I heard, one, that they're like impossible to get, but also just my kids barely play the Switch now. So it's like you start wearing that out, then we'll go back to the Switch 2, I guess. We'll try to get one. But no, have you gotten one of those?
No.
Okay.
I have a friend that's got the Nintendo Switch, and playing Mario Kart on that thing's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's only fun in a group. So I would just sit there by myself. I would not enjoy it.
I think that is true, actually. That's actually very factual.
No, here's what I know about myself. If I got into video games, the video games I used to love to play were the racing games and the sports games.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get very heavy into like, I have to have seasons, I have to have careers, I have to have all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the auto racing stuff, they literally have simulator games now where you get pedals and the steering wheel.
Yeah, you put a VR on probably.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is then it's like, hey, where's Dad? Oh, he's down there pretending like he's a overweight race car driver at 42 years old. No, I just don't. For me, that's not where I live. If you live there, I don't judge. That's great, but it's not for me.
Between 2004 and 2006, I won like 10 national championships with Pittsburgh. That's like the extent of it.
You mean Pitt?
Yeah, Pitt Panthers.
Okay,
nice.
I just knew
H2P, baby.
When the new one came out last year, I just knew that you would buy it.
I did not.
That's crazy.
I don't have the newest system, whichever the newest system is.
The PlayStation 5
You
or
said
a Xbox, what is it? Series
Sure.
1?
Series X or S, whichever one you need.
Whatever, I don't know.
I thought we were still on 360. I'm out. I'm good.
You see, for me, I play video games to keep up with my friends. There's a lot of my friends that I wouldn't talk to anymore if it wasn't for video games.
I agree with that statement, actually.
That's a good point.
Well, I play video games because, to me, when I got that controller in my hand, like, I am really unbelievable. Like,
you are?
I am. Like, I'm T-Bone.
This must be why.
I am unbelievable in video games.
You feel like it's your red cape?
Like, it's like a getaway, you know? It's like a getaway from reality. And it's nothing like getting into the fourth quarter of a game with 2K with my point guard, and my daughter tells me, Daddy, I just pooped, and now I got to put the controller down while the game is close, and I got to run over there, change a diaper real quick, and try to get back in time to still save my team to win the game.
No, I heard you could change a diaper and play 2K at the same time.
I thought you could do it with one hand.
Let's not encourage that.
No. If anybody that can do that, that's, first of all, that's a lot of talent, and you got a serious problem.
This is how, I'm showing my age again, but this is when I was in high school with my friends. We would go to my buddy Jared's house and play GoldenEye on the 64, on the N64.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there was a video a few months ago that came out of a dude firing up an N64, and the GoldenEye intro came on, and he's like with his son, and he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, man, when I heard that music, I was like, I get it.
Well, you can play that on the Switch.
I know you can. I know, but I'm saying it's not the same because my high school buddies are not over there. We're not drinking Mountain Dews till 3 in the morning.
Well, tell them, you know what? You believe in PTO and vacation.
I do.
You might as well just go ahead. It's a 3-day weekend. This
4-day weekend. I cannot wait. Is it Wednesday yet? Thursday?
Reeser, what's coming up?
Out of here.
What's coming up on Bishop and Friends today?
Pretty big day for everybody. NHL, NBA free agencies at noon. House NCAA settlement goes into effect. So we're revenue sharing, baby.
Yeah.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day to you and yours as a Mets fan.
Yes.
We're going to have Dom Taberi on at 10:30. There was some scuttlebutt yesterday about the WNBA with them expanding to 3 cities in the next 5 years. They got 2 next year. Should Columbus have a WNBA franchise? Baker's not happy with the Blue Jackets. And then Chris Fedor from Cleveland.com is going to join at 11:30 to talk about some free agency moves made by the Cavs if they make any.
Yeah. Oh, that would be welcome.
I did the same thing.
Be welcome if they were to do
so
that.
maybe between now and 11:30, Chris will have some, news.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Sam Merrill, was it?
And Ty Jerome going to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, this is
It's
yay. Meanwhile, the Hawks and the Rockets.
I mean, really, we're doing the Atlanta Hawks. Is it only because the East is
Yes,
all dealing with torn Achilles?
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
that's exactly right. It's the torn Achilles Eastern Conference Finals.
It's
Let's see who can make it in
only
there.
3 teams that realistically should be in it, like the Hawks, Orlando, and Cavs.
This is the year Cleveland needs to win the
If
East.
the Cavs don't do it this year, blow it up.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know what Bo's about to say about the WNBA in Columbus, but he's 100% right if he's saying that we should have a team. I just want to throw that out there.
That
and
may or may not be his argument.
Okay. I don't know why that hasn't happened
take
yet.
the
but
Cleveland Rockers and make them Columbus?
I live in Columbus.
Nobody wants to talk about taking anything from anybody
No, I
because
live
certainly
here.
Ohio sports fans
Juju
know
Watkins to the
that.
Cleveland Rockers, 2028.
Yeah,
that'd be bad.
That would be great. If
That'd be
happened.
bad.
That wouldn't be bad. They'd embrace her in Northeast Ohio.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Oh, it'd probably be the best thing that ever happened to her.
All right, you have to go to Northeast Ohio, so let me hit this next, okay?
Shove it down your throat.
It's time for the buzzer.
Sponsored by Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. AmishCountryFurnishings.com.
The producer of Days of Thunder and many other films you probably heard of, Jerry Bruckheimer. He was talking to, I think this was Entertainment Tonight, yes, about, he was at the F1 movie premiere, and they said, hey, what about a Days of Thunder reboot? And he says, oh, yeah, it's happening. Tom Cruise has signed up for it. They're going to do a sequel. So there's always new technology. There's new ways to do things and see things. Tom is such a great individual, comes up with phenomenal ideas. So we'll have something really exciting for an audience once we pull it together. That film, Days of Thunder, came out in 1990. And I want to point out, because I saw this marketing for the F1 movie, they said it's like Top Gun if it was with race cars. And my answer to that was, that's what Days of Thunder was supposed to be, was Top Gun in race cars, because that came out first and then Days of Thunder came out after. So,
I mean, there aren't machine guns on the cars, so it can't be Top Gun.
Right.
Well, everybody loves F1 movies, so they said it's really good.
I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. Days of Thunder, I will just add, one thing that will ruin the movie for you is if you realize how cars actually shift. Where, like, in a NASCAR race, they're going through turn 3 at Daytona, and you've got Tom Cruise, like, dropping into second and then banging into third. And it's like, they're not doing that. I got mad. I'm just saying, that was a little bit of a spoiler there, in case you haven't seen it. All right. Bishop and Friends is next. We'll see you tomorrow. It's T-Bone and Tyvis on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday. We are noticing yet another traffic alert for this rainy Tuesday commute here. This is for folks over by Grove City down south of the metro this morning. We do have a ramp to Stringtown Road from 71 south. It is currently blocked right now because of a crash. It says the road status is open according to ODOT there, but again, that ramp is blocked, so we're going to inquire about what's going on there. Just make sure to take it nice and slow. Be precautious on the roads with all this rain we're noticing out there. I'm 10 TV's Brian Albizu with your fan traffic.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County fire station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Used car prices are sky high. Valley's paying top dollar today. Don't waste time selling it yourself. Any car, any truck, any year, we want it now. No games, no waiting, just cash. Get to Valley before the market drops.
ValleySuperstore.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 69.